must keep the groove on and enjoy every single day. I'm sure you've had some happy days before. So what makes you think you can't have more? Keep on fighting and you'll see. You will soon see rainbows. Hey, come on! La 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 la, la 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 la, ba-dum ba-dum boom. La 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 la, la 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 la, ba-dum ba-dum boom. La 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 la. Yeah, that's what I believe. See, his sunshine is all around us, and there are beautiful clouds where you are. That's how I know that these worries will not last. I can see you've been crying and staying wide awake, asking yourself why the journey is so tough. They say tough times never last, only tough people do. So don't stop believing, I know it's gonna be better. Say la, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, la, 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 ba-dum. Can't be loved by everybody, it's impossible, you know. And trust me, it's okay, so let the toxic people go. Your peace within is more priceless than a pearl. You got to be happy, cause life's just way too short. Don't stress the little things, they will only waste your time. Just take it easy, easy like a nursery rhyme. And I'm singing, I know it's gonna be okay. So I wanna see you smile today. Hey, you just gotta be happy, man. Good days, bad days, it's all part of life. But you must keep the groove on and enjoy every single day. I'm sure you've had some happy days before. So what makes you think you can't have more? Keep on fighting and you'll see. You will soon see rainbows. Hey, come on! La 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 la, la 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 la, ba-dum ba-dum boom, la 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 la, la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, la 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 la.
We ahata et Yehovah, Elohika bika luvika, uvika navashika, uvika miyodika, toda yashach. We ahata et Yehovah, Elohika bika luvika, uvika navashika, uvika miyodika, toda yashach. We ahata et Yehovah, Elohika bika luvika, uvika navashika, uvika miyodika, toda yashach.
In June last year too, you indicated that government was going to construct at about 600 chip compounds. And I ask you directly because you made the comment or you made a promise. I want to find out from you if these 600 chip compounds you said were going to be constructed at the end of 2025 has been constructed, and where, when are they going to be operational?
It is about a chips compound. Now, it is not my policy. I spoke about it, announced it, but it is government policy. What it is that Akosia this year, and indeed if you followed the budget for...
In June last year too, you indicated that government was going to construct at about 600 chip compounds. And I ask you directly because you made the comment or you made a promise. I want to find out from you if these 600 chip compounds you said were going to be constructed at the end of 2025 has been constructed, and where, when are they going to be operational?
It is about a chips compound. Now, it is not my policy. I spoke about it, announced it, but it is government policy. What it is that Akosia this year, and indeed if you followed the budget for...
In June last year too, you...
Of particular concern is the inclusion of redefined concepts of sex, sexuality, sexual orientation, sexual rights, and gender identity, which fundamentally depart from Ghana's cultural, religious, biological, and moral foundations. We unreservedly condemn these definitions as absurd, ideologically driven, and a deliberate attempt to introduce LGBTQ+ concepts into the education system through state-approved teaching and learning materials. This is not neutral curriculum development. It represents a clear policy direction with far-reaching moral and social consequences imposed without national consensus. Yet, on a matter of this magnitude, the posture of government has been silent. In response to public concern, NACA has attempted to suggest, directly or indirectly, that these concepts are not new and have long existed within Ghana's physical education and health curriculum. This claim is factually false. In the light of the foregoing, we, on the side of the minority, demand the following actions, grounded in constitutional governance and parliamentary accountability. 1. We, on the side of the minority, demand that there is an immediate withdrawal of all teaching and learning materials containing LGBTQ-related content, including redefined concepts of sex, sexuality, sexual orientation, sexual rights, and gender identity from all schools. It is also demanding a transparent and inclusive review of all affected teaching and learning materials involving Parliament, religious bodies, traditional authorities, parents, civil society organizations, education experts, and teacher unions. 3. The dismissal of the Director General of NACA and the chairperson of NACA board for failure of oversight and breach of public trust.
If I wanted to be politically mischievous, I would just say that this was not produced by my era or tenure as minister, not by President Mahama, and that this curriculum was developed in 2024. But what is important is to answer the question, what is it that is good for Ghana and good for Ghanaian teachers and good for Ghanaian learners? I've asked NACA the institution responsible to take full responsibility for the controversy and to remedy with urgency. And accordingly, I'm told that NACA has determined that the definition of gender identity contained in the manual is not reflective of Ghanaian values and culture and our norms. Accordingly, the following immediate steps, I'm told, have been taken. Directed that a recall of all the 736 physically printed copies of the Year 2 Physical Education and Health Elective Teacher Manual for senior high schools. 2, a revised version of the Year 2 Physical Education and Health Elective Teacher Manual for senior high school, accessible via I'll give the address to you. So the online correction has been done and done appropriately. So nobody should be relying on the hard copies. And then also to remind us that the curriculum is dynamic and regularly updated to reflect current standards and trends. All revisions and updates will be reflected in the online version available at www.curriculumresources.edu.gh. So when you go there, you will know what is applicable and what must be instructive and what must be in use. Now, accordingly, my directive as Minister responsible for education, there should be no ambiguity whatsoever regarding the definition of a man as in a man, a woman as in a woman, as in biological sex. And sex means biological sex. Reference to man, woman, sex means reference to the biological sex and the sex of a person at birth. Settled. So in every educational literature in Ghana must reflect same. So there should be no ambiguity whatsoever in the definition of a man, a woman, and sex. For our purposes, the sex of a person at birth holds. That depicts and reflects Ghanaian values and our norms. And that is how we want to bring up all Ghanaian learners in an environment that they appreciate, that the morality of our society rests in the extent to which they uphold these values. So I thought that I should use your forum to respond. I have accordingly corrected it. So reference to a man, woman, and sex is reference to a biological sex. So forward, every publication of the Ministry of Education and the GES, and to all heads of institutions involved in the educational space, must respect this natural definition of sex and natural definition of a man and a woman. Nothing more. I thank you all.
The General Secretary of your party has filed, has initiated processes towards taking some punitive action against him, right? Against Professor Frimpong Boateng. But now you have very, very important personalities in your party, like Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo and co, who are saying that if you sack or you dismiss or you take, what's the name, Professor Frimpong Boateng out of your party, then be prepared to sack all of them. In fact, he says himself, Dr. Kennedy, Kwame Payne, I'm sure he has a tall list. I mean, is this something isn't it something that bothers you?
See,
you're going into a very crucial elections, 2028 elections. I mean, elections about numbers. You need almost everybody on board, you know. And now if you have a situation where you have a Dr. Nyawota who is actually a founding member of your party, saying that if you do this, these are the consequences. I mean, is this something about the
First of all, I heard the Deputy General Secretary saying that Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo is not a founding member of our party.
Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo is not a founding member of our party.
That is what our Deputy General Secretary has said.
Is it Mohammed
Haruna?
Haruna, yes.
Per our records,
he's not a founding member of our party.
He's not a founding member of our party. Number two, Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo himself, according to our Deputy General Secretary, himself
has stated publicly that since Mahama became president, he's no longer a part of MPP.
Where did he say this?
I can get the video, but that's why I'm referencing our Deputy General Secretary. I listened to him.
No, hold on. Yeah. You're saying the first one was said by your Deputy General Secretary.
Yes, and the second one too.
Dr. Nyao Tamaklo is not a founding member of the party.
No, that's what our Deputy General Secretary.
The second one is that you said Dr. Nyao Tamaklo.
No, my Deputy General Secretary
also said that Dr. Nyao
Tamaklo is on record
to have said
that he's no longer part of the party now that Mahama has become president.
Really?
Yes. And I'm referencing my Deputy General Secretary.
But the same Dr. Nyao Tamaklo is every day writing opinions about the NPP and what the NPP can do better.
I'm very careful with my words.
Okay.
I am referencing leadership of the party. So if anything, you can litigate it.
I'm not questioning whether what you're saying is true or false. I'm only questioning the basis for making those comments, because the same, like I'm saying, and it's not about you.
Okay.
And I wish Haruna was here, because the same Nyao Tamaklo he claims is not a founding member of your party, and Dr. Nyao Tamaklo saying allegedly or reportedly that since the NDC or since Mahama won these elections, he has nothing to do with the MPP. But the same Nyao Tamaklo is just saying that if you sack Professor Frimpong Boateng, then sack him too. You cannot sack somebody who is not a member of your party. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Dr. Nyao Tamaklo has been saying a lot.
Okay.
I mean, Doc has been saying a lot. I mean, since I became quote unquote.
If you don't mind, can we call Haruna?
Why not? You can call Haruna.
Right, please call Haruna for us.
Because I listen to him on Joy News.
It's a very interesting matter. So I'm told there's some, I don't know what I can call it, evidence to basically either dismiss or confirm what you said. So this one is from Alhaji Osman, who says Nyao Tamaklo is no longer an MPP member. I want to find out which Alhaji Osman is this. I'm not too sure which Alhaji Osman is this. So Nyao Tamaklo's name is not in MPP's founding members register. Kofi Ofosu Nkansa. Okay, he used to be with the NEIP, and I think at some point the Accra Digital Center. That's Kofi Ofosu Nkansa. And then which other publication again? So this one is from Ghana Web. Haruna Mohammed, who's the Deputy General Secretary, so he was on Joy, who says Professor Frimpong Boateng will be expelled from the party, and there's no doubt about that. Yeah, but you have Professor Frimpong. Yes, but you see, this is why I have a bit of a challenge. You put a matter before the National Executive Committee or the Council.
Concluded.
And you've already said the man is going to be expelled.
Yeah, so for me, Moro,
he could have waited.
Moro.
Oh, it's a bite. Okay, so let's listen. Let's listen to this.
And Nyao Tamaklo is not a founding member of the Patriotic Party, and nobody should describe him as such. He's no longer a member of the party, per what he said by himself, that he was not. I was a member of the MPP until Mahama came into the scene. He said so in 2023, and that should be put on. And Nyao Tamaklo is not a founding member of the Patriotic Party, and nobody should describe him as such. He's no longer a member of the party, per what he said by himself, that he was not. I was a member of the MPP until Mahama came into the scene. He said so in 2023, and that should be put on. And Nyao Tamaklo is not a founding member.
Tomorrow, I sat here and said, I have no issues with Professor Frimpong Boateng criticizing the party. He's not the only person to criticize the party.
Yeah.
As young as I am, I have constructively criticized the party. But when you say the MPP is fake, and me and a few of us, we are not part of the fake party. You see, Moro, irrespective of the challenges of your party and how you deem your party, you don't label a group of people fake and then label yourself real. Brother, get it right. Nobody is saying that he shouldn't criticize. But you don't put yourself on a pedestal as if you are better than everybody. And you actually said it. That a group of us, we are virtual MPP. We are the good ones. And the rest of them are fake. That is what he did. So we are talking about constructive criticism or destructive criticism. Know the difference. Now, you say He's criticizing because Bawumia is an extension of Akufo-Addo. Let me tell you, who fought for Akufo-Addo to become the leader of MPP? Kennedy Agyapong was one of the most vociferous voices. Moro, I'm sure you remember.
Yeah.
Stood up against Alan Kyerematen that we are bringing Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Another one, Brian Achampong, stood up for Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo made him a minister twice, in charge of agriculture and national security. 40% of the economy was in the hands of Brian Achampong, who's more of a prodigy than that. Then, what's his name? Aduchum. Aduchum there. Akufo-Addo literally brought him from America. But Frimpong Boateng tells us that he's fine with all of them. All of them, he's fine with them. So when you talk about antecedents of Akufo-Addo, when you talk about extension of Akufo-Addo, and you say you are fine with Kennedy Agyapong, you are fine with Brian Achampong, you are fine with Aduchum, but you are not fine with Bawumia. Why? Am I daft not to see that you have hatred for one person and not the rest? When you say, you claim that he didn't put himself up for flag bearer, of course he can't. Because he's put himself up before and he failed woefully. But the point is this. It's not me saying that he wants to be president too. He said it in the interview that he would have been a better president. He said it. He exhibited his so-called qualities that he would have been a better president. Now, Dr. Frimpong Boateng, imagine you are the leader of an institution and your subordinate who sits in your meeting thinks that he is better than you, Dr. Frimpong Boateng. How would you feel? You openly sat on national TV and said that or suggested that you are better than Akufo-Addo. You are better than your boss. So the whole time you were in meetings with Akufo-Addo, that was your thinking, that you were better than Akufo-Addo. You would have done better with Ghana. That is what we are talking about. So don't create any impression. We are taking the man's words and interrogating them. Just imagine Ato Forson coming out 2 years or 3 years later to say that he would have been a better president than President Mahama. How would you feel? Is that an expression you sit on national platform to make? That you can't harbor your ambition to the
Yeah, justice for us. Tax force are working. Yeah, justice for us. Tax force are working.
Yenya na chiri dido. Yahene mama. Yehunu oni munti. Yenya na chiri dido. So bisi. Onto mama. Misi munyano na munyeko. Na sabre no so. Yame de sakanwa. Ontimi no obetu o. So bisi. Anto mama, misi munyano na munyeko na sabre no so a nyame de nsakanwa ontintina
awo ibano mago awo ibano mago ebo mone ela we mone ibano mago
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now. Government is broke, government is...
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. That's on your radio dial. My name is Aldo Moro, and it's always a pleasure to come your way. It's a beautiful, beautiful Friday morning, and it's so, more so, as Muslims, we go to the mosque on Fridays. It's called Juma prayers. That's what we offer on Fridays. And so I want to say Juma Mubarak to all my Muslims, to all Muslims who are watching the show this very minute. Let's meet at the mosque at 12:30 and worship Allah. But let me say that today is the 16th of January, 2025, and this is the day the Lord has made. Indeed, we're glad in it. I want to say big thanks to Almighty Allah for making it possible for us to return here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. So, as always, and as usual, I'll go straight ahead and look at what the newspapers are reporting on the various front pages. I'll start with the Daily Graphic. Now, Daily Graphic this morning is reporting that 12 to advise president on economy. Ministry draws line on gender, recognizes only male-female to quell SHS curriculum controversy. GOIL reduces fuel prices at 150 stations. And there's also Geardec, Metalloid, GIB DLC, sign a $60 million agreement to develop Nyenehine mines. And as fishers to formalize unions to protect rights, promote sustainable fishing. GOIL reduces fuel prices at 150 stations. The Ghanaian Times, Veep calls for accountability, transparency in use of public funds. We will restore order in transport sector. Minister Sogakope Court jails man 15 years for defilement, incest. Improved macro conditions restore confidence in private sector. Deputy Chief of Staff. And so that's it. And as GHS issues red alert on possible meningitis outbreak. The Daily Statesman. Natoshi Kene Japan, best place to create jobs. Kwabene Japan to deliver policy day address. Ghana to host one of Africa's largest bamboo to energy projects under Cambake Grow More deal. And there's NDC under fire over LGBTQ content in teacher's manual. Bamia is biggest threat to the NDC. That's Daily Statesman. The Inquisitor, James Best CEOs, has the picture of Sami Jenfi of Goldboard, Dr. Andy Okra, who's the TCDA CEO. There's Godwin Eduzi Tamaklo of MPA. There's Albert Kwejochu Mbuafo, who is with the FIC, he's the Chief Executive Officer, and there's Anthony Sapon, who's the GRA Commissioner General. Now, Pelican Hotel, well, you should check them out. Well, Pelican Hotel, the king among hotels in Accra. Gexim is 10 years old, and there's a fax recognizes GFZA boss. Local government ministry's journey of consolidation, reform, renewed hope in 1 year. Metro Lens. State regression shadows Ugandan vote. Trotro shortage hits Accra commuter stranded. IGP promotes 35 officers of Adabraka gold robbery arrest. Ebuakwa North Municipal supports 20 PWDs. That's with the Inquisitor newspaper. Okay. Now, the weekend Crusading Guide, NPP flag bearer raise. Brian the Champion's campaign gathers momentum as endorsement fly in nationwide. And there's recurrent LGBTQ related teacher manual, minority demands probe. And then there's also, still with the weekend Crusading Guide, Dominion University College rebrands at South Shore University College, official launch soon. NP applause tour for swift return to full operation. Ken Oforiatta eyes and NDC's conflicted use of due process. Ambassador Dr. Chanita Foster champions youth entrepreneurship and impact in Ghana. Ken Japan is the answer to youth unemployment. Toshi has been talking. Let's now check out the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide this morning says government orders 4 Airbus helicopters. There's also minority, so SHS LGBT manual, minority slams NDC. And then you have AG frees Abutrika accomplices. And there's government orders 4 Airbus helicopters have looked at that already. NSA scandal. Gift Owari trial begins January 22. Father arrested over attempted 1 million cedi sale of 3-year-old son. The Insight newspaper, Otibonsu petitions property fraud, flags police role in armed land takeover by Trasaco. NPA commenced tour for rapid revival, calls for modernization and automation of strategic state assets. Nzima East MP highlights jobs, education and agro-processing at first-year assessment. Drivers accused of overcharging fares on Accra routes. Journalist appeals for government intervention. Endorsement surge for Brian Achampong, energizing his campaign message. The Empire strikes Caracas, a new age of U.S. colonial violence. Fafra community vows to strengthen ties with Nungwa Traditional Council. Let's now look at what's on today's Herald newspaper. The Herald newspaper this morning is reporting a greedy trotro drivers forcing passengers to pay more with rush hour chaos in Accra. NPP, National Chairman distances himself from Frimpong Boaten's disciplinary letter. National Security Operatives storm trotro stations to crack down on illegal fares. Toll revival promises fuel price stability and forex savings, NPA. DVLA boss reveals he inherited 2 million OML. Number plate contracts and 6 procurement processes were lawful. That's with the Herald newspaper for today. And then the last, but definitely and certainly not the least, is the BNFT. Staff transitions normal in institutional reforms. Labour expert clarifies MIIF situation. And the Standard Chartered secures consecutive top spot in retail banking customer excellence survey. Sanctioning oil firms over unpaid surface rents. Auditor General to PC, GRA. GOIL reduces fuel prices at stations to ease cost of living. IUU fishing surges in volatile waters as CIMAG raises alarm. Oil palm farmers worry over increasing smuggling. Now, what's online? Let me start with myjoyonline.com, and it says okay, so MyJoyOnline this morning is reporting that Sedina Tamakula Tinu now the U.S. as extradition process begins. Ghana's IMF program remains solid and on track. IMF resident rep. Fiscal discipline, city stability May 2025, a very good year. IMF. That's with myjoyonline.com. Now, what's on Ghana Web, right? Let me check out what's on Ghana Web. Okay. Right. So, Ghana Web this one is reporting that Ochebefi speaks on alleged plot to oust Afenyo Marking. That's with Ghana Web for today. And they see the breakdown of funds that Nata Marco embezzled that led to her 10-year sentence. Esther Smith defends Pastor Elvis Ajimai over extortion allegations. The mechanics of trust in modern banking. And then, well, the last but certainly not the least, if not the best, your MetroTVOnline.com, myMetroTVOnline.com, our MetroTVOnline.com. Check them out. From local pitches to AFCON, 2025, then the lies rise. Ghana-Japan reaffirm commitment to boost economic growth and development. Ghana-Nigeria football rivalry fueled by competition, not hatred, as Samuel Jan. And there's AMA to roll out city-owned electric metro buses to reduce congestion in Accra. That's it with the online review as well. You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Keep watching Good Morning Ghana.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit. Happy smile.
Good morning, Mr. Ding.
Good morning, Ejako. And why do you keep staring at my rubbish container?
I'm surprised you're still using a bin without a cover. You know it can cause a mess.
My bin is just fine. Look, there is no leakage, still solid and robust. If you will excuse me, I have work to do.
Yo.
Dustbins are a great way of keeping trash off the street and homes. However, the use of bins without fitting covers pose a challenge with stench from rotten items, flies and scavengers. Keep the environment clean and healthy. Get dustbins with fitting covers.
See. And
So,
I believe
Dr. Bawumia was sidelined.
Oh, please. Who doesn't know this?
By whom?
By the president and his cousin, of course. What did you see?
By Akufo-Addo and Ken Ofori-Atta.
In the running of the economy. He was not in charge at all.
How do you know this?
Well, at least I could see what happened when I was in the cabinet. And I could see also what happened when I was outside the cabinet. I'm not here to wash our dirty linen in public, but show one record that, Bawumia was the one who was trying to overhaul the exchange rate and he failed. Do you know what was happening at that time?
Gold for oil was to overhaul the exchange rate, but we ended at $14 per dollar. Now the NDC is on 10.
Do you know whether somebody wanted to that the system should operate full throttle, or it was like, if it's coming from Bawumia, let's not glorify it? Do you understand what is happening?
Are you suggesting that there was some undermining of the gold for oil policy?
Oh, goodness me. But how much money was released from the Bank of Ghana that we should buy gold when Bawumia was vice president? Let's do statistics and you see that do not say a man should be pregnant. It's a cruel argument. When he hasn't gotten the wherewithal, a man has no womb to be pregnant.
What's the point?
The point I'm making is that there is no evidence that huge largesse of resources were given to Bawumia to run the economy and he blew it. There is no...
Nobody's saying that. Are people saying that?
But what is it that you are talking about?
They are talking about he being the chairman of the economic management team.
What economic management team?
And that is expected to lead the economic renaissance.
Was there an economic management team that was trying to, drive the economy and direct Ken?
Dr. Bawumia is the one who introduced...
No, if it was so, the MPs have eyes to see. They say, look, this bad manager of the economy, Bawumia should go. What did they say?
Bawumia cannot go on the MPs by the law. No, well, okay, they could have called for his resignation. Yeah, they could have called for his resignation. In fact, but they were calling for the dismissal of Ken, not his resignation.
Well, look at even the NDC MPs. They want the censure.
Yes.
Why? Who was responsible for the economy and who has to be censured?
It was Dr. Bawumia who gave the general public the list of the very fantastic actors at the economic management team. Jan Bafo, Alan Chemate. It was Dr. Bawumia who said.
Find out from them whether it was in name or it was in function and who was actually in charge. You see, what is see?
And so Dr. Bawumia was sidelined.
Oh, please. Who doesn't know this?
By whom?
By the president and his cousin, of course. What did you see?
By Akufo-Addo and Ken Ofori-Atta.
In the running of the economy. He was not in charge at all.
How do you know this?
Well, at least I could see what happened when I was in the cabinet. And I could see also what happened when I was outside the cabinet. I'm not here to wash our dirty linen in public, but show one record that, Bawumia was the one who was trying to overhaul the exchange rate and he failed. Do you know what was happening at that time?
Gold for oil was to overhaul the exchange rate, but we ended at $14 per dollar. Now the NDC is on 10.
Do you know whether somebody wanted to that the system should operate full throttle, or it was like, if it's coming from Bawumia, let's not glorify it? Do you understand what is happening?
Are you suggesting that there was some undermining of the gold for oil policy?
Oh, goodness me. But how much money was released from the Bank of Ghana that we should buy gold when Bawumia was vice president? Let's do statistics and you see that do not say a man should be pregnant. It's a cruel argument. When he hasn't gotten the wherewithal, a man has no womb to be pregnant.
What's the point?
The point I'm making is that there is no evidence that huge largesse of resources were given to Bawumia to run the economy and he blew it. There is no...
Nobody's saying that. Are people saying that?
But what is it that you are talking about?
They are talking about he being the chairman of the economic management team.
What economic management team?
And that is expected to lead the economic renaissance.
Was there an economic management team that was trying to, drive the economy and direct Ken?
Dr. Bawumia is the one who introduced...
No, if it was so, the MPs have eyes to see. They say, look, this bad manager of the economy, Bawumia should go. What did they say?
Bawumia cannot go on the MPs by the law. No, well, okay, they could have called for his resignation. Yeah, they could have called for his resignation.
In fact,
but they were calling for the dismissal of Ken, not his resignation.
Well, look at even the NDC MPs. They want the censure.
Yes.
Why? Who was responsible for the economy and who has to be censured?
It was Dr. Bawumia who gave the general public the list of the very fantastic actors at the economic management team. Jan Bafo, Alan Chemate. It was Dr. Bawumia who said.
Find out from them whether it was in name or it was in function and who was actually in charge. You see.
But why did you decide to take a job that belonged to a colleague of yours? Because that is recent. Well, I think this is pettiness, and I don't have the energy to discuss pettiness. The business of government, governing a country, is serious business, and so our focus as campaign is how to get our candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, elected by the delegates of the MPP. Not just elected, but massively elected. Therefore, our focus is how to prepare him to eventually become president of the Republic and govern our country for the benefit of our people. That is our focus, and I want to end it at that. So you're not worried about the fact that he's accusing you of taking his job and that you were favored? It is not worth being discussed. It's pettiness. And that should not distract us from our focus in getting our candidate elected. And as I said, you are electing somebody to become the flag bearer of your party and to eventually become president. We should not reduce it to such pettiness. And so I don't think it is worth being.
In our party, MPP, anytime we have put up a candidate for the first time, that candidate lost the election. So it's not Bawumia. When we put up Professor Edubuahin in 1992, he lost. We put him up for the first time, he lost. We put President Kufuor for the first time in 1996, he lost. We put Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for the first time in 2008, he lost. We put Bawumia in 2024 for the first time, he lost. So if they're beating Bawumia, they're beating others before. And this is the sequence. That has been the trend. But anytime we repeat a candidate, that candidate won. When we didn't repeat Edubuahin, we lost. We repeated Kufuor, we won. We repeated Nana Akufo-Addo twice, we won. So we economists, we determine the future based on historical data. So what does our history tell us as a party? If we repeat Bawumia, we will win. Because history has demonstrated, and history repeats itself. If we put up Bawumia again, we will win. Because that is our history. You put Kufuor and put him the second time, he won. Nana Akufo-Addo, you repeated, he won. Why should we not repeat Bawumia when our own data, our own history, and the behavior of voters of MPP has shown that this is the way to go? And if we have put anybody for the first time and the person lost, you want us to put one of the other candidates who will be contesting for the first time, and again we will lose. And I don't know, if people see the...
Bawumia, was he in charge of the economy? The macro economy? Was he in charge? Or Mahinuchi said Bawumia was in charge. Only had a finance minister appointed a crew of about 14 people to manage the city. It's okay. Any pay be a mukasa assembly. No man a day parliament for him to demand the resignation of the finance minister because of the economy. NDC for a party who were on a motion of censure of parliament to remove the finance minister because of the economy. It is about me in charge of the economy. I don't know this Obama finance minister. I don't think any penny be no money about me pray no. Only the MPs. See any finance minister for real time free hub because economy na say.
Me metuma ba ama me ho one as former general secretary. Me de me tumufu. Yes, the order from when he has on strikers. Me 10 years more power in a Muse Bumidinda. 2020, President Akufo-Addo, on one a frame me phone. Frame me, send me buano, minya de me yemano 1998. Minini chingana hen na yebe pay mu ha, and I'm ready. Obubo nipa na me di gan. But what is me come say me metuma ba ama me ho one as former general secretary. Me de me tumufu. Yes, the order from when he has on strikers. Me 10 years more power in a Muse Bumidinda. 2020, President Akufo-Addo, on one a frame me phone. Frame me, send me buano, minya de me yemano 1998. Minini chingana hen na yebe pay mu ha, and I'm ready. Obubo nipa na me di gan. But what is me come say me metuma ba ama me ho one as former general secretary. Me de me tumufu. Yes, the order from when he has on strikers. Me 10 years more power in a Muse Bumidinda. 2020, President Akufo-Addo, on one a frame me phone. Frame me, send me buano, minya de me yemano 1998. Minini chingana hen na yebe pay mu ha, and I'm ready. Obubo nipa na me di gan. But what is me come say me metuma ba ama me ho one as former general secretary. Me de me tumufu. Yes, the order from when he has on strikers. Me 10 years more power in a Muse Bumidinda. 2020, President Akufo-Addo, on one a frame me phone. Frame me, send me buano, minya de me yemano 1998. Minini.
Monsieur Amre do na drama why? Dr. Mahmoud Bawonya. Me come outro. Ena me ka sembi na to obi ati. Me ya politician. Ena honorable Kennedy Japan or ya politician. Kugudu. Minim say delegates bebre wa ha. Wukunu e ya polling station executive. Ena wo yire enso ya polling station executive. Mesrao obi ankura na dwen. Obi ankura na dwen wo politics mu. Obi ankura na dwen. Iti honorable Ken kura na dwen. Okura ni ambition. Meso mi kura ma dwen. Meso mi ye man manyosem. Na manyosem na obi a eye no. Obi akọ baby a ne ho be dey. Mese dey obi akọ baby a ne ho be dey. Dr. Boache Kasa Okansembi. Maintain honorable Kennedy Japan. Menene womba pore ahofefuo mienu. Ba mu abaako ena oba abaako. Iti maintain honorable Kennedy Japan. But your family and friends ena ye we. Kugudu. Messi ya dia. Efiena ya balo. Kugudu. Kugudu. Pacho muntie mi o. Opposition na ya ba na ya be fie no. E wo se ye be sua nyansa o. Ya ko tena ben mu ye family and I. Any ye ne. Iti amanyo semu a ye wo party level no me adu asafo me ti me nya dey esan se ye kwa ba mu ko ye bi ebo aye ya na aka mo aye na me mamu example bi me ko study contest here to be MP in the year 2007 atne we di amanyo semu ni mu a wo ko yi mu abesi nne. My serving as member of parliament for 12 years. My deputy majority leader. My minister for procurement. My minister for gender. It may be some say, me somoye. a Japan so I am dear. Meboa. Menka say, or no never fa. Nemom ye assume say, Wafa. Now I got now Jubilee House. Na mimi CV edda ho. Ya ka CV ya so ko pe djuma. Na mo hwe djuma amaye. Ene sumo amasom oman yi ene mama ne ku. Na se dru ho. Na obetimi ahwemanimu aka se oba menene wo mamienu. Ma appointed no as minister for BB. Ejabeto Ghana.
Sa 2016 campaign media na emu eshipao. Sa campaign ninti NDC for the omumpe masem kura. Omutimidia, omubedidi matemsa. Misumi fi omo. Munim say January 31st election e ayekoi. Munim say NDC for mpesa moto abana mamio. Semunim sa. Omo pesa mutuma obi. Sele nana komia kano uno obi kopo football match. Ono na ube choose striker amount. And also goalkeeper. Ogago is a mobile penisel.
And you think you're activating that side of the whole thing where we don't allow your vice president, your former president, stay. Without doing anything. Now, ensure say they appoint you to do certain jobs for the country.
Yeah.
So then we lock them down.
Yeah. Mama is secret to be. Who say Baumia wanted to appoint President Kufuor as a running mate?
Really?
I'll tell you. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, he wanted to appoint President Kufuor as a running mate in 2024 election. Chebia, who wouldn't understand this. At a point when NPP realized that Ashanti region is becoming a problem, where they shouldn't have been a problem, their strongest hold was fallen. They needed somebody that Ghana for Dono. Ghana for a bit me okay, this is a fresh beginning. As for this man there, I think this thing was discussed on Pollard Watch's program.
All right, so you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Aldo Moro. Our guests, so one of them is seated here, and they will start with the conversation shortly now. So one of them is a former MP. I'm talking about the former MP for the Botiano English Amanfrom constituency, Mr. Sylvester Tete, popularly known or affectionately called Sly. He's a guest on the show this morning. And also Mr. Felix Kwachi Ofosu, Minister for Government Communication, Minister of State in charge of Government Communication, MP for Abura Asebu Kwaman Kese constituency. He also speaks for the President, John Dramani Mahama. He'll be joining us shortly. But Sylvester, he's already here. He's taking his seat. And I notice he's jotting now a few notes. He's ready to fire. Because there's a lot of, you know, remember that his party in 2 weeks' time will be going to, I think it's a conference or a congress to elect their flag bearer. And there's a lot that's happening. I'm sure that he's been following that. I'm sure that he's also been following the attempts by the party to oust, not to oust necessarily, but to sack Professor Frimpong Boateng for making comments that the party deems as disparaging and anti-party. We've also heard the likes of Dr. Nyao Tamaklo, who have said that, look, if you sack him, you're prepared to sack a lot of us because there are a lot of us who hold the same view, so you might as well be prepared to let all of us go officially. Then the party comes back and says, well, as for Dr. Nyao Tamaklo, as far as we are concerned, he's never been a member of the party anyway, so there's no point. It's pointless for him to say, sack me, because you can't be sacked from something that you do not belong to anyway. Dr. Nyao Tamaklo yesterday sent me a message and obviously not happy with the comments that have been made. He's sent me some kind of a rebuttal. I would read that to the attention of the public. But we've also heard issues, matters that bother on where people come from, who they worship or what they worship, etc., which appears to be dominating a lot of the messaging. And you know, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia obviously it appears to be the punching bag. Most of the aspirants are, you know, attacking him and criticizing him. And, you know, just recently we heard about the fact that he was sponsored to become he was elected to become the flag bearer of the party because of his ability per their projection to attract a certain vote from a certain kind of constituency. And as far as they're concerned, he's not been able to do that, and that's why they don't think that he will be a good candidate for the party in the 2020 elections. But his camp has also come out to rebut that and say that it is also not true, that the data will not lie, and they have data to prove that. In fact, in a place like Northeast, the party increased its vote margin in that part of town. So you cannot say, you know, under any circumstances that he did not attract a lot of northern votes. So these issues keep coming up from time to time. It'll be interesting to pick the thoughts of Mr. Sylvester Menta on all of this. So messaging and generally how the campaign has gone from where he sits, what he thinks that is going well, and what he thinks can be done better going forward, because they will all tell you that they need a united front going into the 2020 elections. But from everything that's happening, can unity be achieved? Can the healing process happen with all the things that have been said about some of the candidates? So please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Don't go anywhere.
The festive season is here again, and your most preferred estate partner is giving you 25% discount on land sale. Yes, for our Bronya Asase promo, Estate Masters is offering this massive discount for outright purchases. This includes free indenture, free site plan, and a free site visit. So what are you waiting for? Rush now and secure a plot of land while it is still hot. Reach out to us using the numbers below or visit our website at www.estatemastersgh.com. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students, look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Watch it, not learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya besisia. Abozing. I can say no ya konati and the more drink woman. Hey, but I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji, Dabio, baby womb. Ready? Hey, baby womb. Ah, Eji, I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral?
Say a sorry insecticide GB at a user. Co pharmacy in a shop biamu. Na mum say a pharmacy supermarket and a shop ra. Na repedudu to a cotonwa. On for Royal Dutch and our Aerofield Trading. Effie spray with Daimwa.
Ghana for me chechi a winning nara me ding edge baby dapa me dia dia sonko kra na ebremo nya ode to aduane mo ama waduane e dapa na me de bremo and no any some spices dey emu wa no bebre o various flavors ubenya eya akoko ubenya nantwie yedigu jollof mu ma emu ye de ubenya yedigu nkwan yedigu froye mu ho na kope bito na ema waduane enye de unyiminia yenkon yenkonko tie nyankofo eka
autant de communication ni all enjoy oduba that Samu spices one in the essence no five I think it is Yaga Samu spices in a BTA daddy so say Samu spices mun Samu spices nyama chicken
Samu spices in Sanaka in Kitwa, measure 10 grams. You want chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, and jollof, and the flavors of food will be brave.
Samu spices, yes, Saka.
FDIJ Jadien Kratuyatu.
Never dispose of ashes or fire into dustbins at the market or homes. You could start a fire outbreak, endangering both lives and properties. Use the dustbins for your waste and garbage only.
Turn your into Get the wow deal for just 39 cedis.
Need say obeji. Boss, need say obeji and I don't know. Say barrier say. Barrier na say. When you see the omunsi. I say my different catch on my way. Say omunsi. Ah. Say no do. Hey, open the door. What's that doing? Open
yeah, justice for us. Tax force are working.
And in Ghana, we all use different cars. You understand? So we told them with Sprinter, we are working with the people, the importers that brings the engines and parts in. We are dialoguing with them. But if you come to Toyota, Vitz, with Uber and everything, prices have dropped. Batteries, headlights, shocks. I mean, the dollar is down, so there's no reason why we are raising our prices. You understand? We have a challenge with the Sprinter, the people that sell the Sprinters. That's the only challenge we have. But aside that, you can go to all the stores around here. Prices have dropped. I have engines here that I was selling for 15,000. Now I'm selling for 10,000. And it's just a few people that bring the Sprinter engines and parts to Ghana. It's about maybe 8 people.
Of particular concern is the inclusion of redefined concepts of sex, sexuality, sexual orientation, sexual rights, and gender identity, which fundamentally depart from Ghana's cultural, religious, biological, and moral foundations. We unreservedly condemn these definitions as absurd, ideologically driven, and a deliberate attempt to introduce LGBTQ+ concepts into the education system through state-approved teaching and learning materials. This is not neutral curriculum development. It represents a clear policy direction with far-reaching moral and social consequences imposed without national consensus. Yet, on a matter of this magnitude, the posture of government has been silent. In response to public concern, NACA has attempted to suggest, directly or indirectly, that these concepts are not new and have long existed within Ghana's physical education and health curriculum. This claim is factually false. In the light of the foregoing, we, on the side of the minority, demand the following actions, grounded in constitutional governance and parliamentary accountability. 1, we on the side of the minority demand that there is an immediate withdrawal of all teaching and learning materials containing LGBTQ-related content, including redefined concepts of sex, sexuality, sexual orientation, sexual rights, and gender identity from all schools. It is also demanding a transparent and inclusive review of all affected teaching and learning materials involving Parliament, religious bodies, traditional authorities, parents, civil society organizations, education experts, and teacher unions. 3, the dismissal of the Director General of NACA and the chairperson of NACA board for failure of oversight and breach of public trust.
If I wanted to be politically mischievous, I would just say that this was not produced by my era or tenure as minister, not by President Mahama, and that this curriculum was developed in 2024. But what is important is to answer the question, what is it that is good for Ghana and good for Ghanaian teachers and good for Ghanaian learners? I've asked NACA, the institution responsible, to take full responsibility for the controversy and to remedy with urgency. And accordingly, I'm told that NACA has determined that the definition of gender identity contained in the manual is not reflective of Ghanaian values and culture and our norms. Accordingly, the following immediate steps, I'm told, have been taken. Directed that a recall of all the 736 physically printed copies of the Year 2 Physical Education and Health Elective Teacher Manual for senior high schools. 2, a revised version of the Year 2 Physical Education and Health Elective Teacher Manual for senior high school, accessible via, I'll give the address to you. So the online correction has been done and done appropriately. So nobody should be relying on the hard copies. And then also to remind us that the curriculum is dynamic and regularly updated to reflect current standards and trends. All revisions and updates will be reflected in the online version available at www.curriculumresources.edu.gh. So when you go there, you will know what is applicable and what must be instructive and what must be in use. Now, accordingly, my directive as Minister responsible for education, there should be no ambiguity whatsoever regarding the definition of a man as in a man, a woman as in a woman, as in biological sex. And sex means biological sex. Reference to man, woman, sex means reference to the biological sex and the sex of a person at birth. Settled. There should, so in every educational literature in Ghana must reflect same. So there should be no ambiguity whatsoever in the definition of a man, a woman, and sex. For our purposes, the sex of a person at birth holds. That depicts and reflects Ghanaian values and our norms. And that is how we want to bring up all Ghanaian learners in an environment that they appreciate, that the morality of our society rests in the extent to which they uphold these values. So I thought that I should use your forum to respond to this. Accordingly, man, woman, and sex is reference to a biological sex. So forward, every publication of the Ministry of Education and the GES, and to all heads of institutions involved in the educational space, must respect this natural definition of sex and natural definition of a man and a woman. Nothing more. I thank you all.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television now. My Sasa did indicate my guests are here. Sylvester Mensah is MP for, Sylvester Tete is former MP for Botiano English Amanfrom and also a former Deputy Information Minister. Once again, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Thank you. And I hope you're doing very well.
By the special grace of God, I'm doing very well.
Yeah.
I hope you are doing well.
Doing very well. First time on the show, 2026. Yes. I mean, the outfit. Yeah, well.
Yes, and a happy new year.
I mean, people like Sly are my friends. I don't have to lack.
First time.
I mean, being big you up. I say, well, you're my friend. I don't have to lack. Whatever I want to wear, I should be able to afford it.
I believe that the one who gifted you this is watching. When you are portioning credit wrongly, you
prepare for the consequences.
Of course. So for me, how I wish I'm in a position to do that. However, it's a new year. Happy New Year to you. 2026.
Yeah.
First time being on the show, and I think that I have every right to wish all of you, your team, those who have been here, and my late Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, the late 8:31, when the show started at 7. The pressures of government.
These days, I don't know what's happening to my friend.
But you shouldn't be surprised.
It's very unlike him. He's very.
You shouldn't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
The dictates and the demands of the times.
No, you see, I don't want to make that comment now. But anyway, Happy New Year to you and to our viewers, and to my MPP fraternity, more especially my constituents.
Okay.
English and So it's been good year to start with. Today is the 16th day into the 2026. A lot to talk about, a lot to engage with. So happy to be here again. We pray that this year will be favorable to all of us, businesses, and to the teeming youth of our country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Felix.
Yeah.
You put me under so much pressure when you're not able to turn up early, because you see, once you say you're coming here, Ghanaians, and there's a lot of Ghanaians who tune in, they want to hear from the government spokesperson. And I get all these calls, where's Felix, where's Felix? I say, well, he's on his way. So I beg you, next time, save me the pressure.
I was here about 30 minutes ago.
Okay.
When I got here.
Right.
But those who I'm sure tuned into Joy FM
okay.
would have heard me granting them an interview.
On Joy.
Fortunately, the nature of the work is that you need to respond to enquiries from various quarters. For even though I was scheduled to be here, I also was obliged to grant them an interview on a matter of national importance. I was packed. I have to apologize to your viewers. Unfortunately, that is the nature of the work. I'm required to be responsive to requests for information about government.
Right. Okay.
Anyway. My day starts very well. Sometimes I don't, and he has been there, so he
You get calls?
From 4 a.m., your phone starts buzzing with radio stations all across the country. And there are some of them who can detain you online for about an hour. You have to be courteous and responsive. You just cannot cut the phone on them because you think they are eating into your time.
I'm sure some of these media houses are even foreign ones. I mean,
yes, they are foreign ones. We get a flurry of requests from foreign media houses in a number of issues relating to Ghana. Indeed, at the last count, there were about 600 radio stations.
Yeah, in Ghana, eh?
In Ghana, spread across.
That's a lot.
So you need to serve all of them. They also deserve to hear from government if they are interested in knowing what government is doing. And so sometimes time management is difficult.
It's difficult, yeah.
In this circumstance, we do our best to serve the people of Ghana. Yes.
Well, they've been, as for me, I'm going to go and appeal to them. They've been hijacking you from Monday to Thursday. They should leave the Fridays to us. Are they?
Well, every single day, from Monday to Sunday,
Monday to Monday,
you have to be working. So
there's no holiday.
There's no holiday.
Wow. I don't want to.
Even during the festivities, there were still inquiries.
Wow. Anyway, good to see you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
I hope the festive occasion was great.
I haven't seen them.
So did you spend most of the festive period with the constituents?
Eventually, I was under the weather for the 2 weeks.
Wow.
The festive season, I was under the weather, so I had to lay low a bit.
Oh, sorry.
Over.
But you're fully recovered now?
Yeah, thankfully I recovered in time.
Wow. That means for you there's nothing like festive occasion.
Whilst you were enjoying your fufu and chicken.
You were.
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow. That's fine. So I want to start this way. As Felix, I know there's quite a number of issues, because typically what happens is when you come on Friday, you would update Ghanaians on what they ought to know about what government has been up to and what government intends to do going forward. But I think that there's also a big event that's coming up. 31st of January, the NPP goes to polls, basically to elect a new leader who would hopefully be prosecuting their campaign 2028 elections. So there's quite a number of issues that have come up, and just recently we heard Professor Frimpong Boateng's outburst, which has culminated into some decisions that the party intends to make at the very highest level. It looks like possibly he may be sacked from the party. In fact, we've heard the Deputy General Secretary of the party who has also said that, look, Frimpong Boateng is a goner. Now you have Dr. Nyao Tamaklo, who said, well, it's not just Frimpong Boateng. You sack Frimpong Boateng, you're sacking a number of us. Myself, that's in Dr. Nyao Tamaklo, Dr. Arthur Kennedy, Kwame Pianim, and so on, because they say they are in full force with what Professor Frimpong Boateng has said, which is the party is not the same party which was formed many, many decades ago. It's changed. It's now fake. The party is going to take a decision. But all of this, the context is the 31st January elections or Congress. Let me start with you, Sly. I'll come to you with the other issues, but Sly, so far, what would you say? I mean, I'm sorry you've been observing. Would you say so far so good? The right issues are being canvassed, and so on and so forth. I mean, what are your thoughts looking at what's happening in your party?
Very well, thank you once again. And I think that in as much as MPP political party is a public organization that we all have interest, or Ghanaians generally has interest, I think that what is happening in MPP is not new to the political parties. And for us in the MPP, we always caution our compatriots who are contesting for various positions in the party to ensure that whatever they do, whatever they say, whatever their acts are, should impact the party positively to ensure that we deepen and strengthen democracy. Internal democracy itself in political parties is enshrined under the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and we must uphold that particular provision. And since 1992, under the Fourth Republic, MPP has shown the way in many, many forms. We rise to the occasion and ensure that we deepen democracy in this country. We started by expanding the frontiers of internal politics and the structures of our party. We've had very, very competitive internal elections when people were endorsing flag bearers. You remember the Sweat Road Declaration and so on and so forth. The NDC has fought its way back to align with what the MPP is known for. And so when you speak to any MPP member who has been around for long, he will tell you the MPP thrives on internal democracy. So for me, except to say that today social media has expanded the frontiers of information, and for that reason, we must always be cautious of what we say, where we are, where we stand. And a lot of the issues that are coming today, when you go to speak, you may invite maybe 10 media houses. The bloggers, Felix is aware today, is inundated with a number of people who appear at programs and all that. So for me, it is good for our democracy, but let me also say that everybody contesting the elections, I have not taken time to particularly follow all of them, but they all mean well for our party and for Ghana, for that matter. On this show, I said, and I still keep that position, that even in 2023, that the 4 gallant men that garnered for the position of a flag bearer for our party, anyone who wins that election will obviously be a better president than President Mahama today. I still keep the same position that whoever wins the flag bearership of the MPP out of these 5 gentlemen we have will be a better president and form a better government than what we are experiencing today. Therefore, we must be mindful that your tax don't end at winning the MPP's primaries. Right. It goes beyond that. Ghanaians are watching. And sadly, it appears that those who are following these men are rather making the headlines, unfortunately. And if you follow all of them, you wouldn't pinpoint to any of them making unsavory comment about their counterparts, rather the people who are following. So it also boils down to leadership that we must be cautious. The party has its own team that is assessing the elections, the processes that has gone through. So the process for the election itself, nobody has complained about it, except to say that some of the things that are coming out today, some I would say it's normal in our internal politicking. Others, where the excesses are shown, I think that the party has the mechanism to crack the whip. But more importantly, it is you that is making that comment. I've always said, and I maintain that position, because of the position I want to occupy in this party, as the general secretary of our party, I've maintained the position of neutrality, that I will not support any of the aspirants. I believe in the judgment of our party delegates or the electorate, whoever they elect for us, in their own wisdom. Over 210,000 people, when they go to polls and elect somebody for us, is a candidate that we must all rally behind. But the caution, again, is that you believe your candidate is the best person to win the elections for the MPP. You have the Electoral College to speak to. But be mindful that if your candidate wins the elections, your utterances, would it bring that unity to bring the other aspirants to come and work with you? No one individual can win elections for any political party. You have over 90,000 communities and more in this country. Even if you have 10 years as a flag bearer, you won't be able to go to every community in Ghana. It's the party's own structures that will ensure that you win elections for the party. So for me, I'm clear in my mind. And the caution, I will always give the caution that if you believe in your candidate, be mindful of the fact that if your candidate wins, he will need the support of other candidates and their supporters. Other candidates and their. The late Jacob Olubuche cautioned, the former chairman of the party, that when you speak ill about your fellow party person, be sure that he can forgive you and forget. So we must be mindful of that, because no individual can win elections for himself. It is a party, it's a collective. So don't hurt the institution that will ensure your victory. So if you struggle to become a flag bearer, we are not seeking to just have a flag bearer. We are seeking to have a president and form government. And that is our interest as a political party. So for me, you see, this morning, we have a government, we have many issues. We have an issue that defined the last elections on LGBT. Today it's being forced under our throat. I believe that should cover the front center stage of our discussion today. But because of some comments that are not so good for us, I think Ghanaians that are making this comment are watching. How would the MPP form the next government and ensure that it develops this country in unity? But like I said, we've gone through this journey before, and the MPP will always rise above these things. But I'll keep cautioning. In 2 weeks' time, we are going to the polls. And my word of caution to all our party supporters out and in this country must be careful and be guided by the fact that we need everybody to win the elections, not the flag bearer alone. We need the party structures, and we are all brothers and sisters. And we don't need to be friends to work together. And that's what we must know. And people must not use this internal contest to settle their own ambitions or to settle scores. Some people are using the flag bearers to settle personal scores. And these are very things that is not good for the party. But in a nutshell, I believe that the issues that are coming up, the men have distinguished themselves and they've campaigned very well. To traverse this country is not a joke. If you've ever done it before, you respect whoever has put himself up for elections. To travel to 76 constituencies in this country is not a joke. I have done that with Freddie Blair as a campaign manager for national chairman. I've gone around this country with Alan Chairman. So, and I'm going around as an aspiring general secretary of our party. And I know what that means. And I want to plead with all of them that if your preferred candidate wins the elections, he will need the support of the 4 other candidates. And I've always said that the person insulting for your candidate, after your candidate wins the elections, between you that is insulting and the candidate loses the elections, which one of you would your candidate need most? Which one of them would your candidate need most? Because you find your candidate going to their homes in the middle of the night to beg for their support. Where will you be? Hiding under the cover of social media.
Should Professor Frimpong Boateng go?
Well, for me, let me say that Professor Frimpong Boateng is a leading member of this party, rose to become the minister, cabinet minister of this party, a manifesto committee member. He's done so well for this party. I have a lot of respect for him. And we believe that this is the time we need their support most. Their commentary must not put the party on edge. That is quite unconscionable, to say the least. No matter the level of provocation, you are an elder of the party. At this age, there's nothing more we require from Professor Frimpong Boateng. He doesn't have the energy to be on grounds. We do have the energy. We need his guidance. We need his. It's not everything that is said in public. I must be honest with you. So for me, I believe that there's a number of people that are engaging in this matter, and we must engage more as a political party. We must not continue to fight in the public space as it is. We need their support. Professor Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, he jumped into the fray. Today he's calling himself a leading member of this party. In the run-up to the last elections, what did he say? He said John Mahama is his cousin. He will vote for him. And you can't eat your cake and have it. These are matters that rest on their own consciences as members of this party. Yesterday, we saw Kwame Pieni, a renowned economist of this country. A moment ago, he was holding breakfast meeting for the 5 presidential aspirants. Incredible. We cherish it. Yesterday, he's part of the NDC's Economic Advisory Committee. Whether or not he even asked the party's permission, or whether he even informed the party, that's a different matter. So if you have elders that are supposed to shepherd the process, that are supposed to shepherd the process, shepherd the political party. I'm not too sure that today, the next MPP administration, if we find Felix Ofosu-Kwakye worthy to serve in any capacity in that government, he will not run to his party and inform them that this is what has been offered me. Double standards, and I think that I respect their age, I respect their experience. They need to put their experience at the doorstep of the young people managing the party. Obviously, to traverse this country, campaign what it is involved, we need their support, we need their guidance. But we don't want them to set the party.
How about those who say that his comments must cause the NPP to have some deep reflection? Because this is Professor Frimpong Boateng. There's no.
But he has access to the party. The chairman of the party's Council of Elders is Dr. Hackman Ozu-Agyeman. Right. They are senior members of this party that are his contemporaries. So you have a forum to address your concerns. So if you go public and say these things, and tomorrow another young man also go public to say this, who has caused this?
Maybe he feels he's not being listened to.
He has not said that to anybody. Okay. He has not said that to anybody. So I think that our elders that we revere so much must also check themselves and their comments. It's important because you wish the MPP well. You want the MPP strong. You want a stronger MPP. I'm not too sure when he was a cabinet minister. Anybody of his team at the ministry will go public and be speaking when they have concerns about. I'm not too sure that at the time he was a minister, people didn't have concerns about his administration at the ministry. Okay. So I think that we still hold them in high esteem. Okay. And for me, I think that some of us will continue to engage elders of the party to ensure that we resolve these matters. In opposition, we need everybody. But whilst we need everybody, we must also caution people to be mindful of their actions in order not to hurt the party. Okay. We are concerned. The youth of this party are concerned. Look at the NDC. When they went into opposition for 8 years, it was a young men that took the elections and fought it with the support of their elders from behind. Okay. Did you see them going public and attacking the party as it were? So these are things that we must all be careful about.
Felix, as an observer, what are your thoughts?
Well, let me say that verbal jousting in internal contest is nothing new. It's unheard of. It's nothing unheard of. It's usual. In fact, I would be surprised if we had any contest devoid of that. So that in itself is not a problem. Perhaps it is the extent to which it occurs that is a problem. I've always stated since the beginning of this MPP process that I think the MPP has completely misdiagnosed what their problem was. Their problem was not internal at all. Sly is right when he says that it's not the first time that we've had some form of internal turmoil in the major political parties. The NDC went through our own in the post-2000 election era. Somehow we were able to weather the storm and put our hands together, contest elections. And since then we've won 4 elections in between that time. So having some upheaval or disagreement internally is not a problem. Also, that won't count at elections. The reason why I say that is that in our recent history, in 2014, the MPP had perhaps a more serious internal fracture than this one. Indeed, at the time, the likes of Haji Afati and Co. were held sway at the party headquarters, engaged in all manner of violent confrontation. You recall that hot afternoon where a violent clash broke out at the MPP headquarters of all places, where machetes were drawn and people were attacked. You will recall that even the party chairman and general secretary, Messrs. Afoko and Kwame Japon, were locked out of their offices. You will recall the unfortunate death of Chairman Adams, I think the Upper East Regional Chairman, who was doused with acid because of internal disagreement. You will recall that gentleman who died in Asawasi, he was stabbed as a result of MPP internal disagreement. Yet, 2 years down the line, they won elections. In that was a period when we saw the rise of such groups as Delta Forces, Invincible Forces, Crocodile Forces, and Borga Crocodiles, and what have you. Yet they won elections. So what that means is that Ghanaians are not concerned about internal, if you like, internal squabbles or internal friction. What they care about is what you offer them when they give you the opportunity to govern. That is what has defined the decision making of the electorate. So for them to pin their loss down to internal division is a complete misdiagnosis of the problem. The problem is that they were terrible in government. That is why the results of the elections show clearly that Ghanaians were unhappy with them. And it had nothing to do with what was said or was not said in internal contest. It had everything to do with
an abysmal performance when given the opportunity to rule. I mean, Sly claims that those who are contesting now, each of them will be a better president than President Mahama. Well, the results or the definite evidence on the ground proves otherwise. But the only reason why the people of Ghana voted for President Mahama is that when they compared him as president to the performance of the NPP, he was better. That's all. Otherwise, there's no way the people of Ghana will go and vote for somebody who was worse than what they have. Moro, logically, it won't make sense for you to go back to something that is worse, that's something that you know clearly to be better. So the people of Ghana did not queue in the sun, in their millions, to go and elect somebody who was worse than what they were experiencing. So it is not true. None of those people who have shown interest in the MP flag leadership and are contesting are people who are new to public administration in Ghana. All of them have served in one capacity or the other. Dr. Bawumia was the head of the economic management team. He himself is on record to have said that Nana Akufo-Addo ceded economic management to him. He was the one who supervised the most abysmal economic performance in the history of the Fourth Republic, if not our entire history.
Atacha was on Good Evening Ghana yesterday. He dismisses that. He said
it is not true, Moro. It is not non-starter.
And
Moro, it is a non-starter. You see, the Keno Foriata thing is a convenient, contrived excuse to extricate Bawumia from deserved blame for the mismanagement of the economy. There is actually a video of Bawumia himself saying that President Akufo-Addo had given him so much space and put him in charge of the economy and he is running it. But Mia is on record to have led the economic management team at town halls to tout economic policy. Was he not the one who announced the so-called reversal of import tariffs in 2019 or so? Did you not see his picture on billboards with the economic management team advertising economic fora that he was superintending? Did President Akufo-Addo not go to Parliament, I think March 2018, to heap plaudits on Dr. Bawumia for supposed gains in economic management? Indeed, is President Akufo-Addo not on record to have told us that the reason why he tapped Dr. Bawumia was his economic prowess? And this was as far back as 2008. At the time, Dr. Bawumia was not even a member of the MPP. But they tapped him because President Akufo-Addo said that he thought he had economic knowledge and capacity to manage the affairs of this state. Why did Dr. Bawumia not hold fora on the economy? He did not hold lectures about the CD, about borrowing, and all the indicators that have to do with economic management. So why is it that they think that they can insult the intelligence of Ghanaians by seeking to distance him from the abysmal, appalling performance that led to hardships for the people of Ghana?
Okay.
Indeed, Moro. Is it not the same Dr. Bawumia who a few weeks ago was taking credit for the so-called gold for oil policy?
Yes.
And gold for reserve policy. So he was not in charge of the economy. So he was not in charge of the economy, yet he could impose a gold for oil policy on the same government that he was not in charge of. I mean, what kind of logic is this? Why do they do this to themselves? You see, and that narrative is doing more damage to Bawumia than any other thing. Look, it is one thing to fail, okay? It is one thing to fail. But to say that, yes, the last time we had difficulties, things didn't work out as I had planned. But give me the opportunity. I have new ideas that I think will work, which are better than what is happening today. If you do that, Ghanaians may yet reject you, but they will accord a bit more respect and credibility to your name. What he is doing now does not carry favor with the electorate, because you see, tomorrow, all electorates, forget about even those who are partisan, extremely partisan. They are rational decision makers. When they go to the poll, they vote based on their circumstance. All the noise that takes place during electionary campaigns and all that, it contributes little to electoral outcomes. But people assess their living conditions. They listen to what is happening. And then they make a judgment one way or the other. They see you seek to take credit in good times. Then when times are bad, you say that it is not you. Moro, can you swear today that if the economy had turned out better than it was in 2024, they would not have told us that Dr. Bawumia was the one in charge of it? But in 2018, when President Akufo-Addo went to Parliament, did he not attribute so-called economic success at the time to Dr. Bawumia's leadership? It is a matter of record. Sly is a former MP. So he knows that Parliament is a house of records. What it means that what President Akufo-Addo has said has to be the truth. Otherwise, he stands for to be charged with contempt of Parliament. So unless they are saying that President Akufo-Addo went to peddle falsehood before Parliament, what they are saying is not tenable. They should stop it. It is not a campaign mantra that will succeed. Indeed, it failed woefully at the polls. I would have expected that the strategies of Dr. Bawumia will move away from that narrative.
Okay.
Let him be candid. Let him accept responsibility for the poor performance. Look, what Ghanaians went through was a nightmare. People, millions of bondholders had their bond proceeds withheld from them, leading to severe hardships. So don't come and insult them on top by denying what is obvious, when you yourself have statements that show that you are taking credit for economic management. It is not possible, Muru, for the man who was not in charge of economic management to have been the brain behind 33 policies, as they themselves claim. How is that possible? What kind of incongruence is this? So my point is that what is happening does not surprise me. I was a bit surprised initially when they decided to put the flag raising contest ahead of any other thing. But I understood them. They believe that if they get the friction and the vitriol that attends internal contest out of the way, maybe they would have the peace of mind to focus on other matters. I grant them the right to adopt any strategy that would benefit them if they perceive it to be so. But I don't think that all the things that are happening today will matter when Ghanaians go to make a decision. Moro, it will simply be an analysis of who has done better. Ghanaians will assess the performance of the NDC. They will assess the performance of the MPP. If they think that the NDC is doing well, they will not bother to change. That is how the trajectory of our electoral outcomes have been since 1992. If they think that the government of the day, and more in our personal lives, if something is working for you, you won't change it. Unless something extraordinary motivates you to do so. So they should focus on convincing Ghanaians that they did better than the NDC. Nothing short of that is going to secure them victory. And then on the bit, on the bit about the other, you see, Moro, there are two. I have a personal philosophy. Of course, nobody is bound by it. There are two ways to resolve a problem. You see, you can fight fire with fire. You can also fight fire with water. You just have to decide which one works. I am of the view that given where they are and where they have come from and the sort of defeats they have suffered, they are better off closing ranks than further dividing their front. In any organization, there are people who may feel upset, offended by how things panned out. If you listen to the likes of Kozafi, but it's obvious that there are things that they were unhappy about. They feel that they were not treated fairly, or that there were things that were done to them that were unfair. It behoves the party to make an effort to stretch an arm to these people, to extend an olive branch, rather than seeking to alienate them. Because, Moro, make no mistake, until the MPP had an opportunity to have 16 years in government, people had not really come to terms with what stuff they are made of in terms of governance. So people depended on the kind of personalities they presented to make decisions whether to vote for them or not. So the likes of Bob Watson, who is a distinguished heart surgeon, who has done great for himself, brought some sheen to the MPP. The likes of Dr. Nyawota Maklo, a distinguished medical practitioner who was a former military officer, brought some sheen. The likes of what do you call it? Nana Akufo-Addo himself, the likes of Mr. Hackman, Dr. Kennedy, the likes of Osafo Mafu, Dr. Safu Edu, all of them. At least when you mention their names, it as it were engenders some confidence in the electorate, of course, pending the rollout of their governance style. It is after Ghanaians saw that despite all these people, you simply cannot manage the economy well and we are suffering, that they voted them out. Now, these people cannot be shunted aside simply because they have some internal disagreement. So I would urge the MPP, they may not take it, to take a second look at the approach. You can fight fire with fire. You can also fight fire with water. Again, you can respond to situations with your heart. You can also do so with your head. I think responding with your head is better than responding to your heart. More, if you insult me, I can choose not to respond. I can choose to respond. Both ways can lead to certain outcomes. But if I don't respond, it is more likely for that conflict we have to be resolved much quicker than if I respond to inflame passions. So this one, they can decide what they want to do. You see, the reason why elders are important is that sometimes they can help manage difficult situations to the benefit of the party. You see, an example is Mr. B.J. Darusha of blessed memory. You recall that he was such a respected figure in the MPP. In 2008, when we went for the second round, and it became clear that the NPP had lost, but Nana Akufo-Addo was dragging his feet, it appeared that all other elders had difficulty calling him out and insisting that we should do the right thing so that it saves and preserves the name of the NPP for the future. It was Mr. B.J. Darocha who publicly came out and said that what Nana Akufo-Addo was not right and that he should concede so that Ghanaians will retain some respect which the NPP can leverage in future elections. It was an important intervention. You notice that the moment that happened, things stalled, and therefore we were able to revert to normalcy and have a situation where the results could be declared and then we could carry on with our lives. If they had persisted, who knows what would have come out of it? They would have damaged the NPP brand further, and it would have counted against them. Indeed, that action of some intransigence on the part of Nana Akufo-Addo affected him in future elections. In the 2012 elections, it was used against him. And I'm sure there are people among the electorate who considered that and had doubts about his suitability for the office of president because of that behavior. So sometimes you need elders to pull you back from the brink. Sometimes what they say may not be pleasant to the ear, but there's wisdom in it. It may hurt, but it can be medicinal and resolve the problem. So don't be in a haste to jettison your elders because you disagree with them. Listen and engage and find a way to address it. Why? Is the NPP not better off having one more vote in the shape of President Bob Boating than losing one more vote? And mind you, because it is been from Boating, he will also come with additional vote because there are people who respect him and hold him in high regard, who he exerts influence on. Those within his professional circles may lend support to the party in ways that could be beneficial. So I don't think that despite
the General Secretary of the NPP, Justin Frimpong Kodia, says is very, very certain. In fact, he believes, in fact, he said it emphatically that the government is behind what Professor Frimpong Boating is doing.
Oh, that must be dismissed without even any hesitation. You see, again, it speaks to the caliber of leadership in the NPP. See, that's not how you analyze. And I like Sly's approach. It's not an endorsement of his General Secretary. You see, a General Secretary should be calmer, more level-headed. They say that opinion diamantimanti. Forget about age per se. You understand me? Forget about age. He may be youthful, but once you become General Secretary of an important organization like a major political party, your demeanor, what you say, and your approach must be unifying and inure to the benefit of the party than to create division. How do you see that because Frimpong Boating has criticized his party, then government, why does government need to be behind? Why do you reduce Professor Frimpong Boating to that level? There's a man who was a self-made man before he joined the NPP. He does not need governmental inducement, as it were, to point out some misgivings he has. Even when he was minister, did he not write a report in which he criticized the conduct of some of his party? At that time, too, was the NDC in opposition behind him.
Okay.
And for me, it detracts significantly from what a General Secretary should be. It's an important position. Okay. So you should not be hasty to attack people who express disagreement. He should be leading the effort to unify the party and close ranks. Even if you want to impose punitive measures on offending, there's a way to go about it. At least let the process appear independent. Let the process appear fair. Okay. You understand me? But you don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. I don't think that is helpful in any way.
So let's do this. I mean, your 1 year in office has come under scrutiny, and legitimately and understandably so, because we gave you a mandate, and we want to know whether you started on a good note or not. And so we've been assessing you. First year of John Dramani Mohammed's second comeback. And the opinions have varied. I mean, I'm talking about politically, but of course, I think that generally, as you do know, you still appear to be enjoying some massive goodwill. I think the polls would attest to that. The Musa Danquest, what's the name? Global Info Analytics says that close to 70% of Ghanaians think that you're doing a good job. So on that score, I'd say kudos to you. But how do you think that you've attained this? Now, I want you to tie this with what you did yesterday, where government unveils Presidential Advisory Group on Economy. Where the government has established a 12-member Presidential Advisory Group on the Economy, bringing together seasoned experts from academia, public service, and the private sector to provide strategic guidance on national economic crisis. Now, Vice President Professor Jane Nano Pokwajima is a member of this group, which also includes respected economist and private sector leader, Mr. Kwame P.Enim, a renowned industrialist, Sir Samuel S. Njona. Now, other members are Mr. Ishmael Yamsing, former Deputy Minister of Finance and Trade and Industry, Ms. Nanoye, and then there's Nanoye Mansa Yabua, former governor of the Bank of Ghana, former Minister for Finance, Dr. Kwabena Dufour, and private sector-led Mr. Ato Brown. The advisory group also comprises Dr. Henry A. Kofi Wampah, the former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Akwede, the 14th economist and private sector leader, Ms. Abnamu, CEO of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Professor Priscilla Chumisi-Boa, from a very good friend. Prof, congratulations for that nominations. A university professor in academic research and a professor, Patience Asiwe, also a very good friend of mine. Congratulations, Madam Patience Asiwe Abo, academic researcher. The members are expected to leverage their diverse expertise to support government efforts in stabilizing the economy, promoting growth and strengthening investor confidence. I'll pick your thoughts on that. So generally about how you've managed the economy and what you intend to do going forward. And also the talk that, look, the goodwill you enjoy first year is normal. And that most governments, especially when they inherit an IMF program, tend to do well because you're under some strict sort of surveillance of a sort, you know. And so really what you've done is much ado about nothing. That the real test is going to be from this year going. So we'll take a break. Please don't go anywhere. It promises to be very interesting. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television.
Confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Sametra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man swing, Nesanso Mama Hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel. Happy Smile. This advert is FDA approved.
The festive season is here again, and your most preferred estate partner is giving you 25% discount on land sale. Yes, for our Bronya Asase promo, Estate Masters is offering this massive discount for outright purchases. This includes free indenture, free site plan, and a free site visit. So what are you waiting for? Rush now and secure a plot of land while it is still hot. Reach out to us using the numbers below or visit our website at www.estatemastersgh.com. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Yeah, the reason why
All right, you're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My guests are here. Mr. Felix Ofosu Kwakye is Minister in charge of, Minister of State in charge of Government Communication and also the spokesperson for the President. Also with us here is a former MP for Botiano English Amanfrom and a former Deputy Information Minister, Mr. Sylvester Tete. Both of them are here. So Felix, back to you. 1 year. How far are we? How did you do it? I mean, like I said, generally speaking, Ghanaians tend to think, most Ghanaians tend to think that you're doing a good job. How have you done it?
And again, goodwill doesn't appear in a vacuum. You see, if from the very first day you take office, you start misconducting and mismanaging the affairs of the country, you won't get goodwill. And as I have indicated, voters are rational decision makers. They don't attach emotions often to how they assess government. It's really about what they feel and believe to be the state of their welfare. That informs whether they give you a pass or they reject you.
Right.
So if we were misbehaving, misgoverning from day one, they will not give us goodwill. They may overlook it to a certain extent, but it will not extend to the periods that we've seen it. So that goodwill has come about because of specific measurable performance. And then to do the analysis, you have to go back to what the issues were. Why did they even go to us in the first place? As I've said, yes, personalities matter, but more important to the voter is what the parties offer in government. So when in government your performance is poor, they look at the alternative and see if there's some believability to what the alternative is saying, then they vote for the person or that party. So once you come in, you must respond to the issues that informed your election in the first place. And there's no dispute about the fact that the most important issue that defined the 2024 elections was the economy. Because honestly, Moro, everybody would accept that the economy was in shambles. There was pervasive suffering. The figures were stuck. I've told you about the bondholders. Look, there's a Ghana Statistical Service report that showed that sometime in 2023, up to 8.5 million Ghanaians went to bed a day without food. And that is a quarter of our population. We defaulted on our debt, we couldn't pay, and it had severe consequences on us. Our currency depreciated to the extent that because of our import dependency, it became a source of extreme and excruciating hardships and suffering for the people of Ghana. Everything went up. Inflation went through the roof. Unemployment soared. I have the figures here. By the last quarter of 2024, average unemployment was 13.6% or 13.8%. That is phenomenal, huge. In absolute terms, we are talking in excess of about 2 million Ghanaians, Ghanaian youth who were looking for jobs. That is even those looking for jobs who hadn't found it. So the situation was dire. Our energy situation was chaotic. We had huge debts in there that were crippling the sector. Eventually, every sector was in crisis. Education was on its knees because even despite the implementation of free SHS, there were serious issues with debt and availability of funding to even feed the students in school. So things were bad. The macroeconomy was in shambles. People simply could not make ends meet. They could not afford basic everyday needs. And therefore, there was an urgent need to turn around the situation.
So what did you do?
So what we have done, first of all, is to reverse the trend of fiscal indiscipline. Sly noted the IMF program.
Right.
Normally, it is when you are under an IMF program, you are expected to be reined in terms of your slippages. But more, the figures show that there were serious slippages in key macroeconomic indicators, even under the IMF program. What you see, they anchored the IMF program on what they call the primary balance, which is a measure of prudence, how you are spending your revenue. So simply revenue minus expenditure. They discount debt service because that one is obligatory. You don't have any leeway. So they look at those ones that you have discretion over. They set a target of a surplus of 0.5%. They did negative 3.9 as primary balance. We showed that the target that they set, they could not achieve. So it is a slippage. The same for the deficit itself. And then arrears build up and what have you. So the IMF program alone will not get you to perform at a certain level unless you yourself apply discipline. But that is what this government has done. That we are remaining fiscally disciplined. Because when you are in government, you come under a lot of pressure. Yeah. There are all manner of demands. It is not all those demands that you can fit into a year's budget. So you need to have the shock absorbers to withstand the influx of demands and pick those that are absolutely important and vital for the welfare of the people and the general running of the country. That is what they could not do. They caved into any and every pressure. So expenditures were overrun by significant margins. The moment you do that, you create a hole in your finances, which affects everything, including your currency, because you are under pressure to look for money to pay debts. Yeah. So that is what we have done. Fiscal discipline, sticking to the budget. So when you look at the budget presented for 2026, you see the numbers. We set a primary balance target of 1.5% surplus. Okay. We did 1.6% surplus. The deficit is within range. Every indicator is within range. Look at inflation. It is now under 6%, 5.4%, I believe. That is the lowest since 1999, when we recorded 4.8%. In the entire 16 years that the NPP governed this country, they never achieved under 6% inflation. I think the lowest they achieved was 7 or so. The last time we had anything around that was in 1999, which is what, 26 years
ago,
or 27 years ago. So it shows you what level of work has gone in. Today, our debt, we set a target that by 2034, which was 9 years from 2025 when the target was set, our debt to GDP ratio should come to 45%. Now we are around 47%, right. 48%. So our debt to GDP ratio, which measures whether or not your debt is sustainable, is within acceptable limits. You remember that at a point under the NPP, it went to 104%.
Yeah.
Look at the exchange rate. At Interbank, it was almost 15 cedis to $1. But when you went to the Forex Bureau, it was around 17 cedis. We know that in 2024, early 2025, that is what we inherited. Today, at Interbank, it's under 11 cedis. When you go to the Forex Bureau, you may get it between 11.5, 12.5. Yes, that's the truth. But why? We do foreign exchange transactions.
Right.
Today, when you go to your banks, the rate is lower. It's under 11 cedis. It wasn't the case under them. And because of that, it led to a cost of living crisis, which resulted in extreme hardships for our people. So we have brought the exchange rate under control through the gold board arrangement, which ensures that we have forex liquidity. In other words, you have sufficient forex to give to those who want it to transact business.
Okay.
And that ensures that the rate comes down. The reason why that is important, and in fact, Sly, he may not know, but let him check Dr. Bamia's speech at Central University. In that speech where he said, if the fundamentals of the economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. He also said that for an economy like ours, the most important indicator for prudent economic management is the exchange rate. The reason is that because we are import dependent, it affects almost everything that we use in our daily lives. So once it goes up, the prices go up. And it creates a major cost of living crisis for people. And people begin to suffer the hardships that were prevalent before we came to power. Because we brought the exchange rate under control, we've seen significant improvements in the cost of living. Now, the reason why I say this is I know that
Dr. Aminata says the exchange rate was coming down anyway.
It was coming where? When we came in, it was, I've told you the rate. At the Interbank, it was almost 15 cedis.
Yes.
And then on the forex markets, which on the forex bureaus, who are also accredited dealers in foreign currency, it was almost 17 cedis. So it was not at a level that was acceptable to the Ghanaian people. It was coming down from where? We were not the very ones who took it to 17 cedis in November 2022, I believe. So it came to 15 cedis at Interbank. How is that beneficial to the people of Ghana? And it made prices go up. But since then, since we took over and managed it better and ensured that it came down, the cost of living situation has improved. I have noted that the NPP have attempted to douse the improved cost of living and create false narratives. They say that the cost of living now is worse than in 2024. That is an absolute falsehood. You see, Moro, one of the things I learned very early in my political life is that you don't argue with the electorate because you won't win. They are like your bosses. You cannot argue with your bosses here and survive. You understand me? So all public officials like myself are enjoined to show respect to the people. You must appreciate their sensibilities. And in your posturing and commentary, you must be sensitive to them. So we are not allowed to exaggerate the impact of our policies. Sure. Neither are we allowed to say things that are not true. So we can't sit here and gloat for instance, that something is better when it is not. But when there is fact, objective fact, that supports a decrease in the cost of living, that one can be asserted. The same principle applies to your opposition. You are also not allowed to peddle on truths in order to carry electoral favor. When you say that the cost of living is worse now than it was under the NPP, it is false. Moro, we all live in Ghana. You, myself, Sly, we live in this country.
Right.
We used to buy things under NPP, and we are buying things now. And we will continue to buy things for as long as we live. Everybody who will be honest will tell you that prices are not the same as they were under the NPP for many items. If indeed Sly is a former MP, so he appreciates it. Look, when you go to Parliament, there's a record of this. The Trades Committee, they have a report in which they capture the input of WUTA, which shows that the prices of over 4,500 items have come down.
Okay.
If you do a market survey, simple, you will see it every day. Look, fuel today. Do you know that Goil is selling fuel under 10 cedis this morning? They've advertised it.
Under 10 cedis?
Yes. The same Goil was selling that same fuel for 15 cedis under the NPP. In fact, there was a time under the NPP when diesel sold for 23 cedis. Me, when I campaigned in AAK, the vehicle I was using, the four-wheel drive, I used to buy fuel. To fill it is 2,000 cedis. Today, you need 1,400 cedis to do that. There are people who used to fill their tanks for 2,100 who are doing so now for under 1,000 cedis, including people who are of NPP extraction who have publicly said this. And fuel is important because it runs through the economy. Yes, that is it. Under 9 cedis. They sell it at regular price at 10 cedis. They have stations where they are selling at under 10 cedis, 9.9 cedis. They couldn't do this under the NPP because of how it cost them to import the fuel that they sell. If you go to Star Oil and others, they also have very low prices. So, Moro, today, if you go to the pump, is it true that it is more expensive to buy fuel than it was under the NPP? Okay. So, the cost of fuel, has it come down or has it gone up? It has come down.
Right.
So, when you say the cost of living has gone up, are you telling the truth or not? Moro, I have these items here. Cement, petrol, iron rods, beans, pure water, maize. It used to sell at 1,600 cedis a bag under the NPP. Today, it's around 620 cedis. The Gino rice, a kilogram of rice, used to sell at a certain rate. It is down. Frito used to sell at 930 cedis a box.
Okay.
Now it is 620 cedis. Oats, Starkist, Calipo, Coca-Cola, oil, Kokonte, yam, palm fruits, all those things have come up.
Okay.
So when you go out and say that it is more expensive, it is not true. I hear them also say that, they are paying now, they are paying more for electricity now than they paid under the NDC. Well, the last time I was here, I explained. As part of the IMF deal, they agreed to quarterly tariff adjustments and a major tariff adjustment in September, October. Page 71 of the last review report that was published before they left power, when they took 360 million dollars from the IMF, captured on page 71 that as a prior action to accessing that money, government had agreed, that's the NPP government had agreed and bound the government of Ghana to quarterly tariff adjustments and a major one in September and October. So you go and agree that this should be done, and when it is done, you turn around and say that cost of living has gone up. So when you were agreeing, what were you thinking?
Do you have that portion of the IMF document?
Oh, I gave it to your producer the last time I was here. I'm sure he has it.
Okay, because
in fact I have it. When we go on there, I can give it to you again. It's on my phone.
This matter came out this week, and I recall it was Kwesi Pratt and the MP for Efija Kwabra North, and his argument was that the document never said.
Let me show you. It is not. It is not true. Look, it is page 71. They call them prior actions. It is there, page 71, and you see, it can be downloaded from the IMF site.
Okay.
So there's no. In fact, Ken Oforiatta is on record to have said that the tariff adjustment they did in 2023 was an IMF conditionality.
Okay.
Because the IMF has always been concerned about our energy sector, which shows that we are doing under recovery. So we are never able to at least meet the cost of producing electricity in terms of revenue. So they agreed to this. It is never in dispute. I've given it to your producer. He can splash it on the screen.
Okay.
So please, when people come out to make these claims, you must know that they are engaging in political deception. You can't do that. You can't agree for electricity prices to go up and then turn around and complain. When you do that, you are disrespecting the electorate, who I've told you are rational decision makers.
Okay.
Spare parts. Indeed, only yesterday, I heard a representative of the Spare Parts Association Abusokai indicate that spare parts prices. And Moro, again, the reason why it will go down is that if you go to the port, and I've taken my time to collate the data. If you go to the ports, for instance, a Toyota Corolla saloon car with home delivery value of around $19,000 in 2024. As at April, if you were clearing it, because the exchange rate was around 15%, a $15 cedis to a dollar, you are going to pay 119 cedis as duty.
Okay.
By December, you will pay 85,000 cedis, which is a saving of 33,000 cedis. Oh, you may say that with a car. Not many people can afford a car, granted. But there are people who buy frozen chicken as food that they eat. Now, they call something chicken, super back, 10 kilograms. So when you bring it in a container with a CIF of $89,000, that's the cost of buying it and the freight. At an exchange rate of 15 cedis to a dollar in April, you were going to pay duty of 985,000 as of April last year. Because of the exchange rate. By December, this had reduced to 707,000 Ghana cedis, which is a saving of 277,000 Ghana cedis. Clinker, the reason why cement prices have dropped is that when they brought clinker in bulk, 60,000 metric tons, in April last year, at an exchange rate of 15 cedis to a dollar, you were going to pay 16 million Ghana cedis as duty. By December last year, it had dropped to 11 million. So that's a saving of 4.5 million Ghana cedis in duty payment. So definitely, because it's an input into the production of cement, it will come down. And indeed, the price of cement has gone down. Everybody knows this in this country. So when you go out and say that, oh, the cost of living is higher now, even though the dollar has gone, it is a blatant falsehood. You are seeking to exploit the sensibility of people. Now, the final point is
those of you who are listening to us who may be wondering what document Felix was reading. We've just captured it on the screen, as you can see.
It is clear.
So you can also go through yourself.
It is clear.
I see Starcase, I see Calico, I see Coca-Cola, and so on. Yes, please try and wrap up on this so I can bring in...
Then the final point, they say, there's a transportation crisis and that transport fares have gone up. Moro, I've showed you that fuel prices have gone down. Is that not so?
Right.
Fuel prices have gone down. Is that not so?
Yeah.
In the fixing of transportation cost, what do they factor in? Fuel price, right? If there are some taxes, and then the cost of spare parts, or the cost of the vehicle itself. So when you import the vehicle and you bring it in, I have showed you that the duty has reduced substantially.
Yeah.
When you go and buy fuel, now they are selling fuel under 10 cedis in some filling stations here. So it has come down from 14, 15 cedis in 2025. Not so.
Yeah.
When you go and buy spare parts, that one too has come down. In terms of taxes, e-levy is gone, COVID levy is gone, betting tax is gone, sanitation levy is gone. So what would motivate anybody to increase transport fares apart from greed and rent seeking? And how do you even attribute that to government? What should government have done that it has not done in terms of the conditions that lead to pricing that should lead to an escalation in the price of these items or transport fares? So there are a few drivers who, because of the Yuletide season, sought to take advantage of the high demand in transport services to increase their transportation fares. And then what they do is that instead of going to the stations that we know of, they decide to roam, especially in rush hours, and then charge exorbitant rates to exploit customers.
Okay.
But there's no justification whatsoever. I heard one of them say that, the price of kinky has gone up. Moro, you were buying a bag of maize for kinky at 1,600 cedis a bag. Today you buy the same thing for 800 cedis. If you use gas to prepare the kinky, the price of gas too has gone down. Even if you use charcoal, the price of a bag of charcoal has gone down. What justification is there to increase the price of kinky?
So basically, you're saying you've done your part.
So government has done its part, and it has reflected in the price reductions in thousands of items. But there are few people engaged in rent-seeking behavior, which is not an unusual phenomenon. There are those who want to make supernormal profit. So you can say that government should take action, even though we don't have a price control system, because that one to comes with its own negatives. That comes with its own negatives because of it's been done before in the past, and it didn't end well. Understand me? But you cannot say that because of the rent-seeking behavior of a tiny minority in our society, the thousands of items whose prices have reduced cannot be the case.
Okay.
That is political deception.
All right.
So if you ask me to summarize, I would say that the policies of President Mahama have ensured an easing in the cost of living.
Okay.
Under the MPP, there was an escalation in the cost of living arising directly from the policies of the Akufo-Addo administration and the Bawumia-led economic management team.
All right. Let me bring in Sylvester Tete. Sylvester, do you have any contrary figures or data to what he just shared in terms of how much we buy these things in town? Or what were your general thoughts about 1 year John Mahama administration? Maybe that's where I should take it from. In fact, you didn't even address the 12-member...
Well, I'm sure when
you're done, you can address that, yes.
Well,
Sylvester.
Let me say that where he is sitting today, I've been there before, and we have been there before. Goodwill stems out of the conviction from the elections, as it's rightly said. 1 year of Nana Akufo-Addo's administration in 2017 was about 80% success. Major policy decisions that the MPP promised the good people of this country, we delivered it. To the extent that the NDC itself was worried to say that why the hasty implementation of the free SHS, we should not have started it that early. You remember, it gave Akufo-Addo over 82% approval rate in this country. The same Aboso Okan he's talking about today. People were in jubilant mood. They were comparing prices when we took off the 30% import duty from the spare parts and all as it is. Now let me tell you something. The essence of all these economic theories, macroeconomic stability, we are grateful to it. Because look, he said that in 2024 December, dollar was 15%, 15 cedis to a dollar. It is not true. If you want to go to the interbank today, from here, let your reporter follow me. Let's go from one exchange center to the other. They have 10.89 interbank, okay, or 11 interbank. Go there, it's about 13 cedis today. What is the cost of that? In any case, the inflationary rate in 2024 was up to about 22.89%, down from 54%. And we all know, and as much as they know, that the situation globally, it is not peculiar to the MPP. From 2002 all the way to 2024, it's not peculiar. Almost all government around, over 80% of them lost their elections because of the global economic issues. And in fact, the IMF and the world-renowned institutions predicted that the government, the economy under the MPP was recovering. It was from 54% inflationary rate, we came to 22. So it was coming down anyways because of the economic decisions we've taken to ensure that and all these things he's talking about, the IMF, when he talks of about 86% of debt to GDP, they know in their last budget, they came back to say that they got some of the figures wrong. In any case, most of our debt today is dollar denominated. So with the exchange rate, obviously it will go up. So once the exchange rate comes down, what it means is that your debt to GDP will definitely come down. So on that level, we are all grateful to that. And the expectation is that all these numbers we are quoting about must culminate in the size of the economy. What is the size of our GDP today in the face of all these things? It is going down. The rate at which they want to grow this economy, the GDP, is rather higher under the MPP than the NDC today. In any case, please, hold it.
Comparing first year. The first years of the two.
Why are you comparing first year
of
the two?
Which
I'm comparing the NDC's administration today, what they inherited and what they are we are having today. So let me come to this. Look,
The essence of all this is touted all items. We've done this before, but I'm saying that government must always lead the way. Government-owned fees and charges, you should go and check, had gone up about 30%.
Okay.
Who is responding to the economic theories that you are putting out there? You are not responding to it. And you are telling us that prices of goods has come down. But you, government-owned fees and charges, had gone up by 30%. Go to the airport, the parking lot at the airport. We used to pay 10 cedis. Go and park your car today, 100%, 20 cedis. Go there. I'm saying that government must be the first to respond to its own economic theories. Government must be the first to respond to it. So your own fees and charges, go to parliament, they sent it there. So government services that is rendering to us today. Electricity. The only excuse is that MPP had signed an agreement with the IMF. When you came, you had gone to the IMF to negotiate and for extension. Why didn't you negotiate that? Now our debt to GDP, by way of the dollar exchange rate has come down. So instead of adjustment could be down or up. So the situation we find ourselves at that time is different today. The reserves we left with you to shore up the city, to make sure that the city gain a strength. Today, go to Cocoa Board and ask them how they are faring today. Because don't forget that we have both sides of the economy, macro and micro. We have export and we have import. So today, those are the export side of the economy. Go and ask them how they are faring. That is why your city must always be valued competitively to ensure that. So when you artificially induce it by spending over 10 billion a year to hold it against the dollar, what are you doing to yourself? Yesterday I went somewhere under the automobile bill and at the MPP. It was zero rated tax. Today they've brought back the VAT element. So the price of the assembled cars in this country will obviously go up. It's a disincentive for employment and job creation in this country. When they came, what did they tell us? Felix himself, their flagship program under the MDC in the run-up to the campaign was one job, 3 people, 24-hour economy. He himself struggled to explain it as Empire FM, that watches sellers will be selling watches 24 hours. What has happened to that flagship program? The education minister had said that at the end of 2025, they were going to recruit 50,000 teachers and 10,000 non-teaching staff. What has happened to that promise? They have said that there will be how do we call it, automatic recruitment of nurses and teachers in this country. What has happened to it? So, you see, these are your own flagship programs that the economy you seek to be touting that you are doing so well should translate into that. Unemployment is rather on ascendancy today. In their own budget today, to Parliament, they said that 2026, they were going to recruit 800,000 people. Out of the 800,000 people they want to recruit, in the budget, go and check. Out of the 800,000 people they'll be recruiting this year, 500 and something thousand are laborers in the construction site and all that. These are temporary jobs they are expecting to recruit. Please, I beg you, go and check. It's in your budget. Go and check the employment projection you made in your own budget. So the point I'm making is that the essence of economic theory is to impact the economy, want to expand the economy, to create jobs, to ensure. So nobody is against the fact that the cedi has gained strength against the dollar. How competitive is that to the export market in this country? How is industry responding to that? Because today, you are making Ghana import-driven more than export or more than industrialization. No government can single-handedly employ the teeming youth of this country until we get into industrialization. What is the government-owned investment in industrialization in the face of these macroeconomic situations they are touting today? So for me, nobody will say that the gains we've chucked under the cedi-dollar relationship is not good for business. It's good for business. But the other side of it, how is industry actually responding to it? And the figures we are putting today. So if you have interbank rate in 2024, about 14.1 cedis to a dollar. Today is about 11 cedis, 3 cedis different. That is significant. It impacts petroleum prices. But one would have expected that automatically your debt to GDP has significantly reduced because of the exchange rate. Because about 43% of our debt is accounted for by exchange. So if it has come down, then you have a reason to even negotiate with the IMF that our debt levels are not as they used to be when they negotiated for this adjustment. So let us do downward adjustment. So why do you turn back to blame the MPP when you have a very comfortable arrangement today, as you are touting today? So why can't you negotiate with the IMF? Because you've met them. And in any case, you should check the IMF report, because we did not get money on a silver platter. Every tranche that is released to the previous administration. And even today, they will make sure that the benchmark set, you have met the benchmarks. So they come. They don't just sit there and disburse monies to you. The monies were being disbursed on tranches. And it's on the basis of achieving or meeting the target set out before it will be released to you. The last one that was released after, we did all that. It was when we went in January or so, or the first quarter, that they released to them, based on our own performance that was released to them. So for me, we are building a country. But when we see the caution, we must take it. Obviously, if we don't do that, and we think that, oh, let's hype all these things. Ghana, as a country, unemployment rate, industrialization, things that will naturally bring the cedi down, not artificially induced. Because today, if you export more, you kept down importation, naturally, the demand for the forex will reduce. Other than sowing inducing the cedi with your own reserves, you are not doing anything. If you don't have the reserves anymore, what happens? It's a lazy man's approach. We could have done that. We could have sold all our reserves to hold up the currency and get the populace being happy about it. But the caution is that if the 10 billion that has been expended in the last 1 year for the sake of the cedi to hold its strength against the dollar, if you had invested that money in industry, into production, naturally, the economy will respond to it by making sure that we don't depend largely on import. Because now, all the things they are quoting here today are largely imported items. So they are getting the windfall for the import. They'll reduce it. What about those seeking to industrialize and produce these things? Because we have the biggest market in Africa under the aftermarket. What is Ghana's position to ensure industrialization?
So let me ask just a quick one. Are you, per your analysis this morning, suggesting that the stability or the stabilization of the cedi is not a very good idea?
I haven't said so. No, I've repeated severally, and we are all happy about it. It is very good. But there's a caution. I am telling you today, Cocoa Board, that is mainly into export.
Yes.
So when you flip the coin, because it's export and import. And we are largely import driven. That is why we are celebrating it.
I get that.
But at the first of the celebration, I'm citing Cocoa Board as an example.
No, I understand you.
Last week, you heard the Cocoa Board, how do we call it? CEO and the board chairman, lamenting about this. They think that whatever they export, when the money comes, is not able to meet their expenses. I'm coming. Yes. Please hold it. I'm not saying it is not good. But I've said that, yes, it's good that the prices of petroleum product has come down. It's good that the exchange rate, the cedi had hold itself against the dollar. Fantastic. But the other side of the coin, and government, I've told you also that the government must respond to its own programs. And when government fees and charges are shot up by 30%, and then you are celebrating, I've cited airport, go to airport, a car park lot there, it's now 20 cedis from 10 cedis. From last year, 2025. So these are things that I'm saying that in the face of how did we come to where we are today? Okay. In as much as me, I'm happy to fuel my car and at 10 cedi per liter at Goil. Fantastic. Okay. Even though they've even added 1 cedi tax to it, they've added 1 cedi per liter if you buy fuel to it. It's still lower than it used to be before. Okay. I will not be the ostrich. Right. But I'm saying that what is the overall impact on the economy and are going forward? Because this is artificially induced. Okay. That makes the cedi overly priced in a competitive global economic market. Okay. That is why Cocoa Board is lamenting. Okay. That is why people who are into export, they are lamenting, even though in the face of all these things. But I'm saying that if the cedi is fairly priced and is competing favorably, the indicators that the cedi will use to compete is about massive industrialization, export-driven economy. Okay. Where you see that people are naturally responding to the cedi in a competitive global economic situation. In the face of that, if you don't do that, and we think that the best way is to have our reserves to support our cedi, it's temporarily. It is not permanent. And I've also said that, yes, because of the windfall, as a result of the decision to shore up the cedi against the dollar, we've had our debt to GDP come down significantly because of the forex. Because I've told you, about 43% of our national debt is forex accounting. Right. So what that means is that when you go to the IMF to negotiate, you can go back to them with the numbers. True. That our debt to GDP is no more as it used to be. Okay. Therefore, our quarterly adjustments that we have agreed with you. Let us now do downward adjustments. Right. Nobody will hold you to it. Nobody will hold you to it. So for me, nobody is against it. Today, all their own flagship programs, as they sit here, the implementation. Yesterday, I read about the committee they put out for the economic management. They are now talking about how the committee is now going to coordinate, how do they put a particular word about the 24-hour economy. They are now going to sit down. 2 years into your administration, you are in the second year of your administration, and your flagship program, So when they were talking about it, they didn't have a plan for it. Other than that, one job, 3 people. I want to ask Felix, which of the agencies are doing one job, 3 people? I want to know that.
Okay.
One job, 3 people largely could only thrive on industrialization. 24-hour economy. I want to know where the Wache people are selling, except what we know, Reggie Raston's joint. We used to buy Wache 2 a.m. It's been there before.
Right.
But we want to know the government-owned flagship policy program. 24-hour economy. 1 year. Yes, I'm saying that because emphasis is there. The Galamsey fight. 1 year of the NDC's Galamsey fight. Today, Gold Board and the activities, there is no proper mechanism and traceability to know the gold they are buying in attempt that you cannot have an illegal gold.
Right.
Everybody buys anything. So are we buying at the expense of the environment? These are things that we want to know to ensure that. So for 1 year of John Mohammed's administration, there's a lot to come. For this first year goodwill and you are cashing in. We have had that before. I heard Felix then will say that, oh, these are things we've put in place and the ripple effect is naturally coming. People can also argue that. The energy sector debt, 2024, we paid 1.4 billion. There was no noise about that in this country. He's aware. 1.4 billion in November 2024. It brought down the energy sector debt. He knows. But we must take steps to ensure that we don't go back to that place again. In 2009, the NDC, we inherited, how do you call it? The NDC inherited $1 billion. By 2017, it shot up to 2.4 billion. By the time we are living, it came back to the $1 billion. But it's not healthy for our economy. That is why we are saying that we should be moderate in our celebration and go back to the drawing board and look at the numbers. And it's a two-way traffic. We should not be celebrating import. Too much of import celebration. We should not. We should always be looking at how the economic model we are putting in place will also support industrialization, will support export. Once we boost our export, what it means is that we will not need so much money to induce the strength of the city. We'll rather respond to the production, to the export, and bringing in foreign exchange. The dependency on forex to fund our export will naturally be on the low side if we go industrialization. Other than that, when we do these things, people respond, they'll bring it down. I've also have told you. I go for those first steps. They were putting cloth on the street for MPP to work on. But what happened? The situation of our economy will not always be like that. So for me,
unfortunately, we just have 5 minutes to end
the
show.
Today
you give us an extension.
He spoke more than.
But normally you give us an extension. What does that mean?
No, please, check the time.
Let me make a direct appeal
please,
to your bosses to grant us.
We have the World Cup.
Please.
In fact, there's a World Cup program at 10:15, which is sponsored, and so we can't go back. But let me just do this quickly. This one here from Honorable Clement. It says, tomorrow it's a shame for former MP and former Deputy Minister of Information who seems to be concerned about the unemployment rate going high due to the inability of the NDC to employ people, when he knows that he oversaw crowded government institutions with the NPP people before leaving office. They overemployed the NPP people when they realized they were losing power in 2024. They should praise the Mahama-led administration for not sacking the NPP people and replacing them with the unemployment youth. Clement Amevo from Kroa. Carlos from Odododio says, considering everything that has happened, the NPP should not be close to power again. The handling of the country's affairs was abysmal, yet some people still support them openly. This is largely because the NDC has failed to properly educate Ghanaians about who the NPP truly are and the damage they caused while in power. If the truth had been clearly presented, many would not continue to trust them. Some of us already know they have nothing meaningful to offer this country. That's Carlos from Odododio.
Let me tell Carlos now, before we continue. You should go to NIB and ask them 1 year how many more people have they employed when they not open one single branch.
Let me read this one now. The John Mahama take away NDC. The John Mahama take away NDC as a political went through serious challenges, as a political party, went through serious challenges after losing the 2016 elections. The statement from some key NDC members were even harsher, and former President Jerry Rawlings was no exception, going as far as describing people like blah, blah, blah. Now, in fact, Dr. Tony publicly said that he stopped attending NDC meetings because there's no longer discussed policy. That's Gideon Ejepong from BBNE. Now, this one here from Mark Kojo in America, who says, good morning. Find above the exchange rate of the dollar to the Ghanaian cedi as at now. Real time. Felix is right. Please tell him not to remind us of what we went through the past few years. Okay, so he says this is 1083. All right. Dr. Nimue Thompson says hello to all of you. So Alfred Kojo Thompson says, tell Felix to stop sharing untruth. As of December 2024, a bag of 100 kg maize was 900 GH and not 1,600 that he said. Yes, some price could have dropped, but it is not a reason.
Where does he buy his
some prices have shot up, so he should admit and say they are working on it. Now, Prince Harry, my very good friend, Prince Harry from Koforidia, who says the fact is Ghanaians are living in a better life under President John Dramani Mahama because they are not paying the e-levy, better tax, COVID levy, etc. Today we have MEP people who are enjoying good governance by buying fuel at 9999 cedis per litre, $1 at 10.545 cedis. As we speak, inflation is below 6%. Since August 2025, the NDC government has been running the country with 58 ministers, not 60 we promised. The MEP should continue sacking their elders from party because we have said the truth to them. And it says, arrogant party in power and arrogant party in power is the MPP. God bless our homeland, Ghana. So I'll do two more, and that's it. Samuel Brian Boabeng says that tomorrow, can my brother, the government spokesperson, tell me when his government is going to pay our ESB? President Akufo-Addo paid theirs between February and March 2017. Why has this government refused to pay ours for over a year? It's a fact that fuel prices have gone down, but other things have gone up. The price of spare parts are higher than they were under the S1 government. I used to buy eggs at 35 cents, now they are 65 in Awoshi. Phoenix Jewel rice was 124 cedis. Then it was 185. Yesterday, I spent almost 10,000 cedis of spare parts. That used to cost 4,700. It says ordinary Ghanaians are so.
That's what the pricing. When you open the floodgate, you see the prices.
And then last one. Then this glass says Sly. When they were doing the gold oil and gold for reserves, were they doing it to the expense of the environment? The double standard is second. This Glan, General Manager, Media Tech Africa. And then Manche Bruce, the second. Manche Bruce, the second, says the government has done commendably well with the macroeconomics indicators, albeit cosmetic. The problem is the micro aspect. Despite the impressive data Felix has presented, the reality on the ground tells a different story. Just yesterday, Thursday, 15 January 2026, I bought a ball of KK for 7 cedis right in front of, In front of Fidelity Bank.
You know what?
Sorry. The MPP has been there before. We didn't listen and were eventually kicked out. Felix, please listen and take action. Don't just rely on data you've been given. Goodwill is like ice. It's fragile and will melt away if not handled carefully.
You see, I've asked a question today. Both the spare parts question and the KK question.
Yes.
Spare parts.
Yes.
I have demonstrated to you that the things that influence pricing of spare parts are what? The cost of the items themselves. Because the dollar has come down, when you are going to import, you need fewer cedis than before.
True.
So the price has come down.
Yeah.
When you come to the ports, or even if you consider freight too has come down because you need fewer cedis.
Yeah.
You come to the ports, duty, that one too has come down. And then there are taxes like coverage, levy, and even VAT. The effective rate has reduced from 22% to 20%. So what reason would there be to increase the price of spare parts? And how can you say that government policy has led to an increase in spare parts? The spare parts people have told you only yesterday that it is not true that they've increased their wares and that it has gone down. The same for Kenke. The thing has reduced from 1,600 cedis per bag to around 800 cedis.
Hey,
the charcoal, listen, charcoal has reduced, gas has reduced. Okay. So what reason or what
we want to know the source of it. Which market?
Oh, but why?
Which market?
Which market did you go to?
Which market?
Which market did you go to buy KK as a cedis? You understand me?
It's in front of his house.
Anyway, let me come back to
Manche Bruce is in front of his house.
What do you call it? Well, I don't even know where Manche Bruce is to begin with. Again, you mentioned Collins, my good friend Collins, the MP. He disputes the point I made about the agreement they reached with the IMF.
Yes.
Look, the document is publicly available. So it is IMF country report number 24/333. 334, I beg your pardon.
Okay.
The title is a bit long, but indulge me. Third review under the arrangement under the extended credit facility. Request for modification of performance criteria and financing assurances review. Press release, staff report, and statement by the executive director for Ghana. If you skip and go to page 76, there is a table. They say table 2, Ghana. Proposed structural conditionality under the extended credit facility 2024-2025 continued. So they list these conditionalities. And another term for them is prior actions. Like you need to do them before you trigger the money.
Okay.
If you come to point under new structural benchmarks, the first one is that PURC publishes on its website the validation report of ECG revenue collection account under audit for 2023 fourth quarter.
Okay.
The next one says PURC implements quarterly tariff adjustments as per the current policy to reflect transmission of changes in exchange rate, inflation, fuel price, and what have you. I'm coming. But if you let me land, then they were supposed to do this in 2024. They didn't, so it built up. So when we came, we had to implement it up to now. Number two, Moro, listen to number two. The reason for the tariff adjustment is that historically, we are doing under recovery. So it would, but
you're making reference to the agreement that
but I'm telling you. No.
Why?
They are talking about upward adjustment.
They didn't say that.
Let me
read what you have.
But you won't let me land.
But you finish. You move from that place. We have 3 minutes. He's moved from that place. No, please.
But I'm not finished reading the thing.
So let's see the upward adjustment.
Then they say
upward adjustment.
But let me land. But they say what does quarterly adjustment mean?
It could be down.
No, let me tell you. First of all, why would they even ask you to do an adjustment? Because you have systemic.
Please, Felix, you know better than this. You know better. Don't do this. Don't do this. Please, don't do this.
Let me make my point.
Where is he landing again? He's moved from the place he's landing. He's now going to explain semantics.
Again, no. There's another point. It says PURC implements the planned major tariff review at end September with associated tariff adjustment as of October 1st, 2025. So you recall that I think about in November, the PURC announced that adjustment.
Yes.
And it was introduced in 1st January this year. So you got to agree with the IMF that we will do quarterly adjustments. And Moro,
please, Felix.
But
I won't allow you to move.
You allow the thing is saying
no. Because when you say semantics, it's English. You see,
there's context to that.
Exactly.
So their understanding must be affordable.
Listen.
When you are touting all these successes in a place of exchange rate effect, let me tell him. Before MPP left office in 2023-2024. Freight was about $14,000. Today it came down to 5,000.
It depends on what item it is. There's no general freight.
It depends. So when they say adjustment,
you
look at all the conditions around the economy as we are touting today. It should have impacted there. And I've told you 2 things.
Listen.
This adjustment and then your own government services, fees and services, 30%. How are you responding to your own economic theory and models? Please.
They say do a major tariff adjustment. What does it mean?
It could be down. It could be up.
What are you talking about?
What are you not talking about? What am I not talking about? What are you talking about? Adjustment could be up or down.
Calm down and let me
Review means
no,
but he's not. He's deviating.
Moro, listen to me.
Felix.
What I'm not deviating. Listen, you went to agree. There's a reason why the IMF asked you
to do adjustment.
Because you have under.
But they gave you conditions of the adjustment.
Because in the past,
exchange rate,
inflation,
and all that, it all come down. So why are you adjusting?
In the past, listen.
Please.
In the past, listen. In the past,
don't do that.
In the past, we didn't do these adjustments, so we incurred debts. So that's what they are asking you to do to reflect all the losses. You see. First of all, Moro.
I was in one of the meetings. Please, I was a deputy minister. Please, you don't do that. You don't do that, Felix.
Moro, let me explain to you.
Moro. The point is that they gave the conditions for the adjustment. The conditions was inflationary rate, exchange rate, and all that. They are there. Why is it running away from that? They are all there. So the conditions of inflationary rate, the condition of exchange rate, obviously, is down. So why are you reviewing it down?
Who negotiated the IMF deal itself in 2023 told you that in fact it is a general conditionality, except that they were not doing it. That is why the IMF compelled them to undertake to do it.
But the conditions for the adjustment is premised on certain conditions. Listen, acknowledge that. Let him acknowledge. He has running away from